Ready for what?
Thanks, Tom Millman.
All right. Okay. Let me. Oh, you're the one. Okay, accept. Fail to load stream together. Fail to load stream together. Okay. Hold on. Oh. Wait. Because I cannot hear you. I should hear you now.
No, I don't have it.
Maybe not. What? What? Why is it when I talk? Why is it when I talk, you also light up?
I don't know. I'm not,
How come when I talk, you light up?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Wait, I think I heard something. Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Chat doesn't hear you, but I can hear you. Let me see.
Sorry for the dog. Sorry for the dog. Okay, almost there. Stay on target. I can't hear you just yet. Give me a second. Come on. Sorry for the dog almost dying sounds. Okay, there's me. Now, in my messy room, and a dog on the bed and a bunch of shit behind me. Excellent. Okay. So now I need to get the sound right for you because I think you have the wrong sound. Does it sound? It probably sounds crappy. I can't hear you just yet. I got to mute your stream. Okay, hang on. Your stream is muted. Now why can't I hear you? Hang on. This is so cool that this just doesn't work, and it takes all this work. Why don't I hear you? Why don't I hear you? Oh, Deborah. But I hear if I roll. This is madness. Okay, here's you on my stream. Streamer chat's enabled. There you are. Mic. Ah, okay. Let me get this working for you. You want this one. Okay, I should sound better now.
Is the Twitch?
Mm-hmm. Test volume. Okay, I think your mic might not be set up for me properly. So if you can check that mic icon and see if it's set up for the right output. Because I'm not hearing you at all. It's got to be me. Okay, maybe the browser's going to the wrong output. I don't see any. There's you. Hate this. This is a nightmare. Okay. Sources. Volume mixer. Brave. Output device. Here we go. You there? Lame. I got ads on Mr. D-Boy. So I have these ads. I can hear this fine. Well, I don't really have a need to show anything other than me for the virtual camera. So that's why it's just my camera. Well, actually, I could share the desktop. Because sometimes I'll probably draw, right? So we'll do scene and we'll change it to that. But I'm still trying to get sound from Mr. D-Boy going. For some reason, it's not working. Settings, audio output. Ah. Ooh, oh,
Hello?
There we go. That's
Hello?
so weird. Okay. I gotcha. Gotcha, you
Got
SOB.
me. Got me good.
If you can share your, because when your ads roll, you're going to disappear from, your whole stream's going to disappear for me. So if you can, if you can do a virtual camera in your OBS, it'll be in the control tab. So however your OBS layout is, there's like controls. And then in there, there'll be an option to start virtual camera. And then in the Twitch stream together guest star thing, you'll be able to turn the camera on and pick the virtual camera. And then I'll be able to see you ad free. It's like I'm a sub.
Let's see.
Pierre, what's up? Captain Onosa, how you doing? Sure. I got some coffee. My wife just brought me coffee.
Nice. Do you see my my screen?
I do not.
Why not? Because I am sharing it. I can see yours.
Do you have, so on, turn camera off or on, there's a drop down and you can pick the camera source? Yeah, right there. Oh, yep. Oh, yep. Oh, no. Yep. Right. Left. Right. Ah, there you go.
Why is it not letting me choose?
Yeah, maybe just start it and then you'll have a drop down from that icon again that you can pick. Oh yeah, it does want you to pick it.
Click allow.
Oh, the browser. Maybe the browser asked for permission to access your cameras, and you didn't allow it. Sound, microphone. Well, there's microphone and sound, but I don't see camera. Maybe you just need to reload, refresh, get it to fire? Or maybe it happens when you... I'm gonna hide that. Sorry for the late start. No, I'm normally not up this early, so it was a big ask for me. But I'm the one who said this is a good time, so this is my fault.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You sound silky smooth.
Cool.
I'm gonna add you into my window.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay, let me get you on my screen. That's it. That's it. Nice.
Let me share my entire screen.
Yes, star. There you are. Beautiful.
Can you see my screen now?
Oh, hang on. I've got double of you now. I gotta mute your browser source. Give me a second. You sound like a transformer.
Transformer.
Where are you on the list? I don't see you on the list. Unhide all. Damn it. I think I just need to get rid of you on the thing. Or... Oh, there's two of you. That explains it.
What do you mean?
It's your desktop. I think it's your screen share volume. Okay.
Well, there should be no volume.
Yeah, I'm getting two of you. Okay, say something. Say like... Now I don't hear you. Yeah, from your browser source, I'm getting two of you. It's got to be OBS. Okay, hang on. We're going to figure this out. Now it's acting like you're muted. I see a mute icon.
Oh, now I'm back.
Yeah.
Because you did mute me, so now I'm back.
Oh, I did? I muted you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm just going to hide you from my... All right, well, we're good.
If I stop sharing the screen, can you hear me twice again?
No.
So it is my screen. Oh, right. It is my screen. My bad. Okay. Now it should be no sound, but you should be able to see my screen.
Okay. All right. I'll use that. I'll use the screen, your screen share. Okay.
Yeah, because that's going to be the proper delay and everything.
Okay. Okay. I think we're just about ready.
Because, oh, wait a second. Where are you, though?
My screen?
I lost your camera.
Oh, I'm sharing the OBS window. Give me a second. So this is why I need to just share myself. How are you doing two things? How are you sharing two things? Oh, you're sharing. Oh, I got it. I got it. No, both is good. Both is good.
No, but no. Now you took it off.
No, hang on. I'm fixing it. Give me just a second. There's going to be two sources from me now. And then if you share your screen,
I could share my screen.
Yeah, and then
screen share.
When I need to, I'll show your screen on my stream. There you are. So you're in front. Okay, I'm almost ready. Because occasionally I'm gonna go back and forth between my screen and your screen. So
okay, that makes sense.
When I need to do something.
But I don't need to show your screen, right?
Not right now, no.
I only need to show your...
Well, like because I might bust out Obsidian and like make a drawing, because specifically for the tile map stuff. But I figure we can do like a rundown of how things are going, and then I guess move on from there for performance stuff. But it looks like you did a bunch of the things that we talked about briefly on what was it, Tuesday?
Yeah.
So that's going good then. It sounds like. Okay, cool.
Let me add. Browser.
More like browser. right, Fiora, have a good one.
So that's your screen. Why is the quality so bad?
On my screen?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It is streaming, so it might. It's weird. I don't see what you see, so I don't know. That's your stream. I'm gonna hide that.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Now I just need your camera.
I'm afraid
I think you disabled it.
It did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So if I switch it over to just me now, since I'm sharing my screen. Scene source, camera desk. There you go. It should switch over to.
So wait, you cannot have a separate camera?
Let me try again. I thought I shared my screen. Oh.
You know what I mean? Like my
screen share, there's only one screen share and we take over the screen share. That's how this works. So for now, I think we should just show your screen, and then when I need to show something, I'll take over. Does that make sense? So the source for the screen share.
I also think there's a camera source though.
Well, yeah, there is. So that's the one that I'm showing, but watch, I'll take over screen share. And then it's going to show, I can show my entire screen, which is going to show the share together thing. So let me show you. This is my desktop. So now I've taken over screen share. Does that make sense? So screen share.
What happens if you click the turn camera on button?
Turn camera on button. It is on.
Next to it is on.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is the screen share is like a group thing. So any of us can take it over and be like, I'm going to show my screen now. So, and if you have that as a browser source in your OBS, then when it comes time for me to talk about something, if I want to share something on OBS or whatever, I can just take over that screen share. Does that make sense? So like that's what I've done now. So now you could say, you could click on the double, the triple dots, and then you could take over and show your screen again.
Right. So this actually is your camera. This one on the bottom.
With the shepherd in the corner in the messy bed, and then my son approaching him.
That's the camera. Now I need another one for the screen itself, which is this one. Okay, that makes more sense. There we go.
See me?
I do see you, buddy.
Oh no, what have I done?
I know. He wants you to rub his belly.
How do I move you?
Mm-hmm. Do you want to take over the screen share?
Yeah, I'm just trying to move us down.
I'll open up OBS. I'll start writing. I'll get the diagram stuff ready, because to explain the tile map solution for draw calls, it's kind of a weird thing, but I know it'll work. Let's see, new sketchpad. I get to pretend like I'm Pirate Software. I want to buy a Pirate Software wig. So I can just, here's the deal. I can just, here's the deal, everything.
And there we go.
I would need to have the camera in the corner though, on the other side.
Why is this so complicated? There we go.
Would look good on me. I'll put you over here.
Oh, I know what to do. I'll get rid of the... I'll get rid of the... These ones. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, I think that works.
Cool.
Okay, so if I share... Okay, so you're share... Okay.
Okay.
You are sharing, but I'm not seeing... Oh, I see why. Okay, now I see it. Now we see it.
So I think maybe we could just kick it off with the tile map thing, so I can kind of go over that. If you want to take over screen share, and then show the frame debugger, and just I guess for people to see what happens with the draw calls. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Let's see.
And then I gotta try and find a way to add you into my stream, but when I do, for some reason I hear you twice, so I think what I need to do is actually mute the window.
Oh. God damn it, I kept the screen share thingy.
No, I no echo right now. I'm just saying when I add you, your camera, it's my problem I have to deal with real quick. Give me a second. So like right now I should hear two of you, but that's because of my setup.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me see if I can mute this window. I think
it's also shared.
No, it's totally me. Okay. I think we're okay now. Say something.
Hello.
Yeah, okay, we're set. And you can still hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're golden. We're golden. Let me squeeze you in the corner here. All right. Sweet. Frame debugger, what's it? Render doc? Yeah, it's render doc, right? Or are you using something else?
No, I'm using render doc.
Okay, cool.
So wait, what do you want to see?
Well, I guess I can just take over and just explain what happens. But basically, every time the screen is drawn to, when it's getting it ready, the draw calls are one per every single tile that it's going to display. So it recreates the entire tile map, every single frame, and it goes through every single tile, each at a time, and goes, okay, here's this tile, here's this tile, here's this tile, and so on until it draws the whole thing, right?
Right.
And it does it because you have a couple of layers of tiles as well. So that creates that like really adds to the number of the total number of draw calls. And so it's not so Mariano's mentioned this, but yeah, so tile maps aren't batching. They're not batching together into a single draw call. So what we can do is create our own batching system. And so I can explain the way that I would do it, and see what you think. Does that sound okay? So let me now. What I'll do is I'll share my screen. Go to the thing over here. And how do I take over screen share?
You just share screen.
Share your screen? Yes, I do want to. And here we go. Oh, okay. All right. So, So right now you have like, let's turn on a grid here. So you've got your tile map and it's going like on the draw, like we were talking about, it's going and doing this cell. Let me make this a little bit smaller. So it's doing this cell and then this cell and then this cell and then this cell and so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. So here's my suggestion or my idea, that the way that I would do this in Godot. What you can do is you can create a texture of something, right? So the way we would do it is essentially we would, on the initial build of the texture map, you would have a process that creates a single texture. Okay, so we would create a texture, an image basically of the completely drawn out tile map. Okay, and we would overlay it where the tile map would go. So like its exact coordinate positions, it would just go in the same spot as a node 2D, like a sprite in a node 2D position. Okay, and then so the question is, well, what do we do when the tiles change, right? So then what you do is you actually just don't display this tile map. Okay, so now we have an image of the tile map, and that is a single draw call.
Okay.
It should batch if it uses an atlas. So this is, Mariana has a good suggestion here. This is, I didn't even know this. Is it using several textures, the tile maps?
It's using several, yes. That's what I noticed. I noticed that when I used the same.
So if that's the case, that's some. Yeah. So I didn't even know that. So Mariano's saying, and this is what the other thing I was suggesting on Tuesday is to try an atlas as much as you can. So in that case, if that's true, then all of my crazy harebrained idea is not even something you have to worry about. Because if that's true, then yeah, the goal should be to atlas the texture. And so that requires, that's probably a lot of work to on your part. So that's more of a pipeline issue for you then, where you've got all these different textures. Can you show me, I guess, can you share your screen again? Sorry for jumping back and forth. So I'm curious what the textures are like. And then,
here you go. So this is what I've noticed. It's when it's doing this sand tiles, it's like a whole line. But when I'm doing the water, because I'm using sand tile combined with water in the middle, it's going to render this one first, and then it's going to render all 7 of them in a line in the middle, right? Because it's going down. It's like going from top to bottom.
Okay.
That's what's happening.
So
it's rendering this and then going down, and then
right.
When it's time for sand, it does the whole thing.
Right. So you do have, like, these are all just different.
Separate.
Right.
Yeah.
So fixing this is actually kind of a big deal. Because you're kind of in deep with the way that you've done this.
And you know what's funny? When I started reworking this whole thing, that's how I was going to do it. To have everything in a single atlas.
Right.
And I don't remember what changed. Something changed.
So then, never mind. Let's go back to the suggestion that I had then, because this will actually work better for how you're set up. So let me share my screen again. We're going back to my original plan here. All right, I'm going to share my screen, and we'll go back to this. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Because I'm not trying to say you did it wrong and there's the right way to do it or anything like that. It's more about like where are you at and what works for where you're at to like get that better juice. So that so in your case, because that's so much overhead for you to fix that, air quotes, to get it right, yeah, I'll go with this suggestion that I had, which is, so you have your tile map, and we're going to call this tile map A, okay? And so at the start of the first time that this tile map is the data, so you go get a load, you populate the tile map based on the data that is in the game or whatever, right? And at that point, you're gonna tell Godot to save it as a texture, okay? So then it's a 2D texture. It's an exact replica of the tile map. So not worrying about what the code would look like. I'm just going to explain the thinking, okay? So then at this point, you're not displaying this tile map anymore. You display it, you create it in something called a viewport that's not even shown on the screen in order to create the texture, okay? So then you save it as an image, basically. And now you show that image. And so this is no longer visible. So if there's an eye here, and I'd like to show that it's visible, we're going to put a little line through it. So this isn't visible anymore. Now we're just showing the texture. Now you're a single draw call, okay? But the problem is what happens when the tiles change, right? And so the way there's two ways to do that. It's as simple as every time it changes, you re-show this one, and then you come in here and you go, okay, well then this is what it looks like or whatever. That's probably okay. And the other thing you can do on this whole thing is thread it, which is basically like you go and you put this on an entirely separate thread, which isn't that big of a deal. And then anytime a tile map changes value, you go ahead and on a thread you say, okay, I'm going to display it in a viewport and make a texture of it, and then replace the texture that we have with that. That will probably be fast enough to reduce the number of the consistent number.
Grabbing the whole map
is
the view.
It would be the whole map.
It would be the whole map.
So you would scale. What you would do is you would scale the viewport to match the maximum bounds of the tile map. So the viewport size would match per pixel the tile map size, the maximum tile map size, right? And then you would just have this texture be at the exact same coordinate position as the tile map itself. And you would just layer, and you would do this because you've got multiple tile maps as well doing this. So in that case, you would do this for each one. You would have this process of generating anytime the value changes on the, and the good thing about this too is because this is something that you would be doing on multiples, you really just need to write this as like a function that you can call on any of them, so that when they change, you can pop this thing out and have it happen. And if you thread it and you have, when it finishes, you have a signal that says, hey, here's the new tile map image. So you do it, and then there's a signal that says, here you go, new tile map image. I don't know what you call it. Well, let me just write it with whatever it would be called. You listen for that signal, and now you swap it in, and the signal gives you the texture 2D, right? And then you just swap that out with the existing one.
But wouldn't it be like a giant texture?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't. I mean, how big is the dimensions? How big is your individual texture cell, and how wide and tall is your game? I mean,
16 by 16.
Okay, and we can. The other thing we can do with this is we can split it into many single like 1024s, like splice it.
161 by 95.
Okay, that's the total number of cells by times 16.
Yeah.
861. Yeah, so you can splice it into like individual, but this is something that you just want to try this and then see what it does. Like you get halfway there, get it going, you'd see the draw calls. This would for sure eliminate a huge chunk of your draw calls. So then it's a question of, and there's like several ways to do this where you can chunk out the stage into individual. So let's say these are all 1024. So for the entire, so if you had a traveling viewport, let's say, and it just rapidly, and the other thing about this is you would know the sector that the tile map had changed on. So let's say you have this tile map and it's actually 13,000 pixels by whatever, right? Because that's the actual math of it. So then you could have individual 1, 2, 3, this is a 1024 by 1024 area, right? And now you only need to change just that section of the tile map that's been changed. So and there are individual textures, and then you're only showing you have that. Is it in the screen bounds check that you have that you're doing with like the sprites, right? And you say, okay, if it's not in the screen bounds, you're not going to display that texture. So that's a possibility to reduce draw calls. The question is your performance bottleneck draw calls on certain hardware? So like on a potato, is that what the bottleneck is now that you've done all these changes for the process step and it's way improved and you're getting like, it sounds like you're getting a solid 60 now, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, and do you have that one laptop like set up that has the God, I always forget what it's called when it's onboard GPU. So I guess the
Intel graphics,
integrated graphics. Yeah. So when it on something that's integrated, reducing the draw calls might be a significant thing.
Wouldn't it be the performance of OpenGL, basically, of compatibility mode?
It just depends on the individual.
That's cool.
Because it wouldn't use Vulkan. It would use
cool.
OpenGL.
You think it's cool? It's cool.
Oh, I'm not talking about Vulkan or OpenGL. So that to me is not a thing. It's just about if the bottleneck, because you're either CPU or you're GPU bound, which means that there at a certain point something is the performance issue on a like, let's say you're trying to hit 60, right? And on your hardware now you're hitting a smooth 60, you're not waiting on the process step, and you're hitting a smooth 60. But you go to your potato and you're hitting a smooth 60, but you go to a potato computer, something with like an onboard GPU, and then now you're seeing it's still stuttering, it's slow, like it's something about it's not right. And you look at you go to Godot and you run the debugger and you look at the processes and inspector and all that stuff, and you see that, oh, it's actually now we're waiting on the draw calls. That's when you would want to do something like this. So this might not even be an issue for you, but you definitely want to know on lower hardware stuff that has that's like just a it's really a CPU GPU, like a laptop without dedicated hardware. Then you'll see, oh shit, now we're really getting stuck on the draw calls. And that's when something like this is worth experimenting with, and this is all based on your game's, the sort of the tech debt that your game has. Whereas, like Mariana was mentioning, it sounds like if you have a single texture, you could avoid all this. So sorry, my dog is, so there's another possible solution for this with the information that Mario has given us.
That's why I noticed yesterday as well when I used that program you told me about.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how come the sand gets rendered at the same time, like the whole thing?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, because it's split. The water, it's in another atlas, and the sand is in another atlas.
So here's another, this is another weird solution that I can think of. And that is, okay, let's imagine that you have your texture map as it is.
I have all textures, right?
Okay, so you have your texture map as it is, and you have multiple, these are going to represent multiple textures, and this is why we're not batching. So there's like texture 1 and texture 2 and so on and so forth, right? So you can know what texture is drawing where with a tile map, with its different function calls of a tile map, okay? So imagine this. Now this is a little weird, but it would work. You have 2 tile maps, okay? And what you do is, so you've got texture 3, texture 4, texture 5, all this stuff, right? Now there's problems with this idea too, though. So then what we do is we go and we say, okay, we're gonna take all these and build a texture, a single texture with these. And we know everything about where the equivalent point is on these individual textures, okay? And so now we pack in, as good as we can, each of these textures into a single atlas texture, okay?
I think there's something like that.
Yeah, there might be a plugin that does this for free. I've done it before as well. And this is where I got... So, okay. So you never show your actual...
My actual... those ones.
Yeah, shoot. What's the tile map? My brain is like, what's it called? So you never show tile map A. So then you have tile map B. And in tile map B's world, it's built off of this texture atlas. And so what you do is, this is the tile map you actually show. And tile map B, this is the one that's being displayed to everybody on the actual running game. And you use tile map A because you got this tech debt with it. You use tile map A as just data, right? So you think of it more as like a data structure. And you, at the start of the game, or you have a special script that you run occasionally when you change the value of the textures, or you add more textures to it or whatever. So this works for your workflow, right? This works for your game dev style, for what you've got going on. Then you're just changing the way that you have this so that it's happy with the engine. So then you go, okay, I'm going to build this texture atlas. I build this, there's like a packing algorithm. It's pretty straightforward, right? But you go and you pack it into an atlas. And then now we know that this texture starts out at 0, 0, 1 in this area here, right? And so if we're asking for this texture is 0, 0, 1 here, and it's over here at, 23 on the Y, and we know we're setting it to here, and then we have an easy way of looking up what actually that is in this atlas and assigning it to tile map B here. And then this is batched out. It's rendered as a batch, and now you have a single draw call. So it's a bit of work to get this process going, to piece together the data coming out of here into here and out to here. But once you have that process going, it's automatic going forward. You could do it for every single tile map that you have because you have multiple ones. You can apply this thinking to all of them. It's just like a script that you have to write that builds the atlas texture and the lookup that you can call. And then whenever there's a data change here, a cell is set here, you never show this. You're just looking at the data. So you get the signal for the set cell here. And when that fires, it comes into a script that then tells it, oh, okay, this coordinate and this cell, this tile map and this cell, it looks up to somewhere in here in this texture, right? And then that's set to this value here on this tile map. And this is the tile map that people see. And now it's batched because you're using an atlas texture, and it's a single draw call. Before you do this work, I would guarantee and check, because sometimes we think the engine is doing something and we think we know something about it. So the suggestion that Mariano is valid if it's true. So I would say on a fresh install of Godot project, just create a tile map with a single texture and draw a bunch of different things on it, and just make sure that it's in a render doc. Just make sure that it's batching. And if it is, then this is worth the effort, I think.
Is the batching, it's line by line, or are you supposed to batch the whole thing at once?
If it's batched, it means that it generates the draw call as a single draw call. So like you see with the sprite. Yeah. So you'd have boom, huge. Again, this would be for people who have, God, I always forget the name of a dedicated GPU, like a onboard
integrated.
Integrated, yeah. So this would be for people on integrated, so laptops, which I think would be, again, like I said before with your game, I think there is an expectation when you look at it in trailers and stuff. Oh, my hardware will be able to run that. So because of that, like, you know, the consumer thinking of that, I think that's something.
Just don't do the end game.
but yeah, that's the easy way out, right? It's your problem, not mine.
500 NPCs, just limit yourself.
But this gets you to the more and more NPCs thing, and then if you do have a dedicated GPU, you could have like a crazy slider where they can like make the stage enormous and have an enormous amount of people, and you're not going to have this crazy growing draw call thing. I
still think we still have many issues, even like something simple like hiding something is still using a bunch of process and stuff like that.
Like hiding
what I've noticed is if I hide a character, for example, or if I add an item to an inventory, even those things take a lot of time. But what I've noticed is even though it raises to, let's say, to 20 or 40, right? But if you only does it on a single frame, the FPS doesn't change. But if you get 30, 40, 50 frame after frame, that's when the FPS drops, because it's trying to catch up.
When you say 30 or 40 or 50 of what? What do you mean?
I'm talking about MS process.
Right.
Process MS.
So, but when you say, oh yeah, because you're only
right, because you want to stay below 16, basically.
Right, because you're dealing in, yeah. So, but what are you saying when you show something or hide something? What's causing that process step to change?
It doesn't say. It's just going up, and then I think it's the draw call.
Okay, so this is worth your time to do something like this, then. Yeah. I think. So
that's what I think.
So like
it's redrawing, because obviously the character is gone, so now it needs to redraw the whole thing again to match. So I'm just going to bring up the docs on Tilemap real quick. So imagine that if we're looking at these docs from the perspective of this That's the wrong one. Look for Tilemap layer.
Oh, snap. Does it inherit? Okay, so it's Node 2D. Okay.
That one is old. It's
the
still
old
in
one.
The engine,
it's for legacy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Part of me misses the old way. I'll be completely honest.
Because it's less cluttered, isn't it? Because now you have a bunch of nodes.
Mm-hmm. So we're looking at signals. Changed. Fuck, of course it doesn't tell you what. God damn it.
Oh, that doesn't even work. I've tried that one. Doesn't do anything.
Emitted when the tilemap's properties changes. Modified cells properties.
Doesn't do anything. I'm changing cells. I'm changing everything. Doesn't do anything.
To its assigned tile set. Really? Well, let's see. If we can get the tile set, what do we have for that tile set here? So let's look at tile set. So you can on this you can say tile set. Well, what signals do we get with tile set? Tile set we get. We might not have anything, but we'll see. Property descriptions. There's nothing. There's no signals for this. So you're sure that there's no change signal?
Like the one that triggers?
That's something
All that's
got.
supposed to be triggering. No, but I think it also has something to do with me using a plugin for my terrain. Maybe.
Oh, okay. Well,
'Cause I'm
wherever
using,
this would be wherever you're setting. I'm guessing you have a single place where you set the value of a tile map change, right? Typically.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you do it in there, right? You create your own call at that point. And what you would tell whenever that tile is set for this system to work, pretending like you've magically know how to do this part of creating this pack texture, just ignoring what's involved in this. What you would need data wise is it would be a function call that would or some sort of call that would say the tile map position, the OG tile map position, the tile, the current texture. What are those referred to as in? Because you have multiple of them. What are they in the world of a tile map? What are they referred to as? I can't think of it off the top of my head. Different tile sets. They're tile sets, like multiple tiles. Yeah. Okay, so you would pass the tile set, some sort of identifier for the tile set. Let me go back here. So tile map position, the tile set, and then the tile set position. And then this is enough information for you. You would use the tile set and the tile set position to do a lookup to find where in this atlas you would draw at this tile map position. So these two pieces of data here you would look up. You'd have a way of looking this up into this atlas texture, and you get the resulting atlas texture position. So this would then equal your atlas texture tile set, right? So you have this atlas tile set, and then in that atlas tile set, you would use this tile map position here, and then this information about what tile set and what tile set position to, I guess I don't need to do it like this, to equal the tile set, the atlas tile set position. And then that is this here. And then you get that position, and then you set that on the cell for the for this tile map. So really the hard part about this is
the hard part, isn't it? Like trying to figure out, okay, texture 1 is with texture 1, texture 2 is with texture 2.
So
on the other side.
It's really as simple as the data would look like this. You could have a dictionary, and the key would be tile set, and then you'd have an offset value of a vector 2. So it would be a dictionary, and then the key value. So the key would be the tile set. And then there would be a vector 2
would be 0, right?
Right. And then vector 2 would be, you would call it a offset position. And you would just look that up every time. And you just incorporate the offset position of that tile set in your atlas texture lookup. So it would basically be tile map position, or no, this wouldn't be a part of it, sorry. It would be tile set position. So you would go tile set position, offset position, and then you would get a vector. You would get the offset position off of it, and then you would incorporate that into it would be essentially ooh, you might need one more thing. No, that would be it. That would be enough there to do it. Okay. And so you would have a dictionary where you look up that offset and incorporate that into the lookup on the atlas texture to get the actual coordinate for the atlas texture to set the tile map position value from that atlas texture for tile map B. And so your original tile map system just becomes a data structure that you're using to look up information, and you don't even show it. It exists in the scene tree, but it's not visible, and it's just there, and you're just accessing it as a piece of data. And it doesn't even need to, at that point, it doesn't even really need to be in the scene tree necessarily. But, well, actually, I think it does in order for, yeah, I think it does. But
it wouldn't matter because it would be hidden anyways.
Right, you just don't show it. So it's there, but it's not visible. It never asks to draw anything. So building the Atlas tile set is pretty straightforward. You would set some maximum bounds. So you could initially say that it's 1024 by 1024. Like, I'm guessing that would be plenty for the amount of graphics that you're dealing with. And you would just the dummy sort of grug way of doing this would be to just go and just look at the width of, so you have tile, when you build it out, you're looking at texture 1 and you look at its width and you go, okay, it can fit in here, you know, and then you check the next texture and you see if this width plus this width is less than 1024. So let's say that texture 2 is like less than 1024. You're good, and you can put it in here. And then you keep a track when you're packing it in. You keep track of what your height's getting to be, because you want to keep track of which one's maximum height. Because see how this one would, like, if you have one that's kind of bigger than the other one. So this, you have an invisible width and height here. And when you have a texture and the next texture can't fit on the width, you go, okay, I know my height here. And you loop again and you go, all right, we're going to go down a row. And now we're looking at texture 2 or texture 3, and it fits here, and so on and so forth. And so you figure out, again, you're just, every time you do this, you get the maximum height, and you keep pushing out your next like position of when you do wrap, where you start, and then you just keep doing that when you build it out.
I wonder if it would be easier to just make it yourself.
I mean, you could do that if it's easier for you to. The reason why you might want to make it dynamic is because you don't have to think about it ever. And if you decide to change anything here, it just changes. It's right. You don't think about it anymore. It's just an algorithm, and it just does it for you. And so it's just something. It's a little bit of work to like get your head around like doing it. But let me see. I just want to check on the. Have a great rest of the stream. With this, the Atlas tile set would be dynamic. Yeah, so. Yeah. I use Texture Packer to make my sheets, if that helps with anything. Oh, I see. Jacob's talking about. So there's like a tool for packing textures.
There's like a natural tool.
But then that's you're going to create a manual lookup for the tile, the offset position like we have here. So that would require every time you pack it to go in and be like, okay, the texture 2 starts at, and you need to be inside some editor thing. Although I'm guessing if it's a texture packer, it might be able to tell you, and you'd have to manually assign that kind of data. There's more complex algorithms for packing textures where, and I've implemented some of them where you're dealing with like, if you think of Tetris and like packing in things in the best possible configuration. I actually did this at a job that I had for shipping containers, where it was to figure out the best. It would tell the people at the line what box to grab and where to put everything in the box so that it would fit in 3-dimensional space as packed in as possible. But you don't need to go that far. It would really just be, this would be the.
You have AI as well?
Who does?
In your game? You?
Me? No, this was like a job that I had. But the idea of packing, like this thing takes up this much space, and you can have like a crazy efficient. Oh, am I offline?
His camera is gone. Your camera is gone.
Can you hear me? What happened? camera is in use somewhere
This
else.
camera is... Actually, I cannot hear you if you're talking.
That's weird. Okay, let me refresh. Camera is in use elsewhere.
Hey, user-friendly. Why isn't Cricket roasting the boy? Listen, guys, we are here to learn. Don't worry, the roasting is coming. I think I hear something.
There we go.
But okay, you're back.
I don't know what happened. That's weird. I'm going to share my screen again. Share. That was weird. All right. Nothing happened. You were fine. I don't know. My computer just had an aneurysm or something.
Roasting is part of learning. Don't worry, we're gonna get to the roasting. Don't worry.
But yeah, so you would just basically have some simple thing that would just arrange the textures into another configuration that you would then save as another texture. You know, you have your lookup values that you're setting when you're building this out here, and then whenever you call a draw or a set cell on the texture here, it just goes through this process of, okay, we're actually setting it here too, and this is the one that's visible. And then we have this little simple lookup where you go, okay, it's this cell and everything. Here's the actual cell, the coordinate position on this. But again, this all relies on, if Mariano's right, that having a single atlas texture means that the tile map system will batch. So hopefully that's true. And if that's true, then... Oh, do I sound like a robot?
Yeah, a little bit. I think, I don't know if it's on my end or your end. I'm not sure.
Domo arigato. Let me refresh again.
Wait, it's saying network issues detected.
Yeah, it looks like me. You look like...
Is it you or is it me?
I'm not sure. You're...
D-Boy audio is okay? Okay, it's you.
It's me.
They're saying it's you, not me.
Hmm.
I can hear you now. I hear you great.
Yeah. Okay. You look like mud for me.
I think you know what it is. Oh, then it's you. Because you look like mud for me.
Curious and curious. Let me close and reopen the browser. Let me close this. We're going to get this figured out.
I think that we don't have the bandwidth for this.
We got it. I'm on a gig up and down, so if something's wrong...
You have a gig up and down?
Yeah.
I don't have a gig up and down.
So, and it's weird because my stream isn't reporting any issues on the network. I think this is just...
I can see good now. I can see you.
Since Twitch is an intermediary between us, I'm going to say that it's neither of us, and this is Twitch. So, let me...
I'm fine with that logic.
It's sound logic. Do I sound like a robot still?
No, you sound great.
Okay, cool. Okay. Let me share the screen again then. So if that makes sense, I think because it's a weird thing, but it takes into account your setup. Do I still sound like a robot because I just shared the screen? I'm wondering if it's really...
You sound good.
I think that's... I think this is a reasonable approach to take, but I would recommend before even going down this path to just confirm if you have a single tile set for a tile map, building a Godot project that draws a bunch of random tiles and then loading in RenderDoc and just confirming that it has like 0 draw calls. And you don't necessarily need to load it in the RenderDoc because you can look at draw calls inside the profiler in Godot as well. But
isn't drawing the whole thing at the same time, isn't that bad though?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying you just want to confirm when you have a single texture and a tile map, and so you have a single texture with like a bunch of different positions that you're going to set in a tile map, just confirm that does only do 1 draw call, because that's what Mariano was saying, that if you have if you have a single tile set, then it'll batch, right? And so if that's true, then I would say, okay, you just want to confirm, you want to know that that's true before you go down this route, because this is based all on the assumption that having a single texture batch it will make Godot engine batch the draw.
What I'm asking is, isn't it bad that it's trying to draw the whole thing in a single draw call? Doesn't that take longer?
No, it's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
Yeah. Yep. Because, and think about it if you have an integrated graphics card. This is the thing. On your computer, on your GPU, you might see no change when you do this. And you might think you've wasted your time, but on an integrated card, this is the kind of thing, because the integrated... Jason! I don't know what my dog is doing. He just knocked over a lamp.
Drop everything.
On the integrated card, your GPU is your CPU. So any draw call is a CPU thing that it has to do, right? So the more that you can batch that draw call in a loop that's like, okay, here's what we're actually drawing on the screen, and we're going to do it once, instead of we draw this and now we draw it with this and now we draw it with this and now we draw it with this. It's just one big, what am I drawing? Okay, this is what I'm drawing. Bam. That's like, you know, that would be faster.
I actually think your first method might be the fastest. That kind of reminds me of what. Yeah,
it's just that. Yeah, it's just that this is like a cleaner solution, because this has a lot of like caveats where it's like, well, in this scenario you need to be careful about this and that, and like what if you erase something, and like this creates.
The first scenario, the one you made first, that one is like you're getting the whole thing and then you forget about it.
Right, except that because you had a good point about the texture size, and this is your texture size on the GPU is only the Atlas size. This is a better way to go. This is better for memory on the GPU and for the number of draw calls. This is a cleaner way of doing it.
Makes sense.
So this gets you to two things. You keep the memory that you're using. Oh, this is the next thing I wanted to look at with you. If you could share your screen. You said, yeah, because it sounds like your video memory is pretty high, and I'm curious. I want to kind of investigate that.
See?
Yeah.
I do have some things in there that I need to get rid of. So I have the tutorials, which we're not using anymore, that I need to get rid of.
I'm just stuffing things in my face. Okay, give me a second. All right.
So these are two giant PNGs that I can get rid of because we are not using these ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those sizes are really big too.
I can show you. I can show you them. Because the whole idea was, I'll show you. Continue. The whole idea was this. But it's a whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're just scrolling.
Right. Okay. I see.
Basically.
Okay. So yeah, if you can go back there really quick, because really your video memory.
I just don't know what these things are. Render target, internal, this empty thing, these empty things.
So that might be an. Yeah, that might be an add-on that you have.
Like copies of the same thing.
New player. Is there anything in here that you see in terms of these asset paths that you're like, oh, why is that even in there?
These empty ones.
Oh, I see. Those are all, I believe they're in order. They, it's like MIP mapping. So it's like if you're zoomed out on something and you have like different scales or something like that, It's possible that's what's going on. Now, do you need to map your textures? Because you're doing per pixel, like pixel accurate.
Most of my textures are, I'm using atlases, most of them.
Well, let's look at one of your tile set textures real quick.
One of my tile set, sure.
Okay, so on that one,
do I open it or?
What I would do is, on the import. So there's the import tab. That's the inspector. Click on the import tab here. So don't just scroll down. So mipmaps generate is off.
Yeah.
Is there a way to highlight? See how? So UI buttons is an example of this, where we're seeing something.
UI buttons. Let's see. UI.
Okay, so choose that one. And what do we look like on the import? Can you scroll up? Nothing there. Compress is lossless. Okay. No mipmaps. This is all good. Yeah. Well, we're concerned more about the bigger textures. So, is there a way to easily remove those two, the workers tut and the bridges markets? Like what's are you? That's still part of the game, basically.
Yeah, that is still, yeah, but I can remove them.
You can or you can't. Sorry, miss.
I can.
Okay. So that's like some low hanging fruit there. Render target internal. That's what I'm not sure about what that is at all.
Mm-hmm. It's a texture 2D.
Let me look this up.
I can probably find it if we're searching for the same sizes, right?
It's a viewport texture, says Mariano. Okay. My guess is this is one of your add-ons that's doing this. You haven't messed around with viewports at all, right? Like that doesn't mean anything to you?
No.
Okay. So I'm guessing.
It could be some of the add-ons probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But is this amount really that big?
Well,
46.
So if you think about like minimum specs, Godot can create viewport textures internally. An example for fonts. Oh, okay. Sorry, my dog is being very restless. I mean, the more you pay attention to this and just keep track of when it's growing, the better off you can be about knowing when. For instance, I'll just give an example that I just recently encountered. I had a bunch of assets from a third party for 3D, different like 3D characters and everything like that, and each one individually pointed to its own reference of the exact same texture. So I wrote an import script so that when the resource was imported into Godot, I told it, okay, you don't use this texture anymore, you point to this one, and it was the single truth. It was the same texture for all of them. I had 16 megabytes of video memory, and it dropped it into a half of a megabyte because it was kind of duplicating a reference that it really needed to only be a single thing.
Would that work with the resource loader as well? If you add it to the resource loader and then you just use that instead of the image.
So long as you're telling the thing to use that one, you know. Mm-hmm. But the reason why, like, if you can, again, like I've talked about, like the going fast is about doing less. If you have again, if you're just like on a potato and you don't have that much memory and it's integrated GPU and you're sharing your RAM and you have to have this much RAM for the game itself, this much RAM for the video, and then so on and so forth. Like the smaller those rects are, the better off you're going to be. Also, because this texture is so large, I don't believe that it can cache properly, and it might actually, like, when I don't know how this would work. I can't say that I know, but these two really big ones might actually be screwing up how a GPU can kind of hold on to references to textures quick and keep it there to quickly be able to reference them to know what to draw, so that it's breaking that and it has to keep reassessing it every time. But this,
So
I imagine Godot's right. So, but I mean, those two though, I would just handle those two there. Like Mariano's saying, that the render targets, I guess, apparently could be fonts. I know that there's a weird bug in Godot right now. If you have shadows on textures, yeah, that's 4.5. Yeah, 4.5 is going to take care of that. So that's going to
using 4.5 beta 7.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. So that was like a weird thing. That was introduced in 4.4.
It's still like three, I think 3 or 4 draw codes though, because it's drawing the black text and then it's drawing the shadow and then it's drawing the outline and then it's drawing the white text.
Right.
So you're still drawing. Still 4 draw calls.
Okay.
For text.
Okay. So
but
those
it's no longer per letter.
Yeah. So this is just the reason why I'd asked about this is just to this is another thing you can just check. And when you make changes over time, just take notes of being like, this is what my video memory has been. And then like a month later, you're like, whoa, why is it like quadruple? And then you can just kind of think about it. So it's just about like being aware of like what's changing, and like maybe, did I introduce something that like is a lot of this is just like working around the way the engine is doing its thing and going and just kind of like understanding that. And sometimes you just don't know until you run into a problem and you go, okay, what the hell's going on? And like, how can I fix it? And
like the way you told me, like stop using process and physics process and just use your own functions and just use weights and stuff like that. That is so much better, because now I can clearly see the things I'm using. I can clearly see the times on them without removing it from the draw calls, right? Because it's separate instead of batching them together. Because before I was confused, like, why is it the draw call, or no, why is it showing the process high, but then I look at my functions and they are so low?
Right, because everything's in process, so you don't even
everything. Yeah.
So beyond, and gosh darn it, this dog. Hang on a second, I gotta take care of him. I'll be right back. Okay.
No worries.
Okay. All right. Are you hungry? Is that what's going on? All right. Let me talk to Mama real quick. Okay.
How is it going, chat? Who's still here? Let's see. Let's say some hellos. What the heck, Pierre? You jumped ship? Unbelievable. How's it going, Mariano? Use in-game sprites to make tutorial images. We tried that before. It was a nightmare.
All right, just be a little patient.
Screenshots instead. User friendly. How's it going, bro? Good to see you.
Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, so the main thing is just to make sure that you're not actually just calling the function still inside process, right?
Yeah,
So once you liberate from that, It's really about using timers a lot of the time to get things so that and for instance, I've made manual timers where I'm setting a float value, and I had that being checked in process, and it just killed my performance. Just even doing that, like I was like, I hate making timers in Godot. I'm just gonna make my own. All I need is a float, and I just add delta, and then I just check if it's over this value. I'll have that be an enum that I'm checking, and I'm done. But then it's like,
I
you're
made my own process.
right, but
my own process to a while in a function.
Well, that was one thing I wanted to ask you about. So I saw you were doing something with you had made a state machine, but you did have a while loop in there, and I was really confused about that. Could you show me that?
Yep. So this is what I came up with. And it's right here. This is it. It's getting big, but it's basically just a function.
So what calls run?
Running.
So this is always running.
This is always running because it's a state machine, right? It needs to switch.
Well, yeah, but
for the villagers.
So the way I typically do, like my simple state machine is really just a function call where I say set state, and I give it the new state, and then I'm matching on the new state to that.
How does it stay in the state?
Well, you have a state variable, and you just look at that, and you go, okay, what's the current state, right? So
you're looping in the same function?
No, and I probably don't use state machines the way that it's like the academic way. I'm more concerned about when I use the state machine, like when I'm changing the state, I need these things to happen, and then the rest of my code is, hey, just what's the current state? And if it's this, then I'm going to do this. If it's this, I'm going to do this. And so I use a set state as like, when the state changes, I want these things to happen. And that's where it's being handled. So I don't use it like a while. It's just it's a function with a setter, and we match on it from, it's an enum value that we're setting. And then we just change the state value from there, and then we're just checking the state in different other parts of the code.
The function does pause itself because it's always going to wait for something.
I see. So, and this is for your NPCs. So yeah. Is the while statement necessary though? That's the part where I'm.
Because the way I set this up is, we are waiting, and then I know the next one because we set it here. So we're walking towards the markets, and then when we finish the wait state, we enter into the purchase from the market, which is set here.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone does this differently. So
because then if the target is not reachable, I can change the set state that ends at the end of the...
Yeah, so where you're setting the variable, that would, in my stuff, that would just be a call. It would be, there'd be some set state name, it would have some sort of name, and then I would pass an enum of the state that I want to change it to, and that's where I would do what you have in your while statement. There just wouldn't be a while statement in there. Okay. Because I'm trying to visualize while true it'll always be looping, so that it doesn't necessarily need to be that way, but
it's kind of looping, but it's also stopping.
Right.
It's waiting.
I get it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So each his own. Everyone's different with that stuff. I do avoid while statements like the plague, because I always call it opening up a portal to infinity. And if you get it wrong, you
I had a couple of not crashes. What do you call those, where everything freezes?
Yeah.
And stops working.
And the process step is technically just a really big while statement. But
it is, yeah.
Yeah, but I just avoid. I'm just like, I'm not doing. If I can avoid it, I don't. Just because of that. Yep. Yeah, and it's easy.
But the difference is night and day from switching from. Because I had the whole state machine with nodes.
Yeah, the node thing is huge. I've always been critical of the because there's a really popular YouTube tutorial about doing it that way, and I'm for me I think actually the GD Quest guys have one that does that, and I couldn't believe it. Because it works. It works on.
It's alright. It works great for
if it's a player controller. If it's a player controller, yeah. But then people, are like, oh, okay, I'll just use this for anytime I need a state. And then it's like, no, because all of that Godot's like, oh, I need a node. A node needs these things, and it all just takes up space, and it's just like, but I'm glad that's helping. So. What does it look like?
Another thing that helps is when you told me to just go from A to B with a I'm using a what you call it, interpolation. Or is it a twin? I'm using a twin to go from A to B instead of actually doing it every frame, moving the character bit by bit.
Yeah.
It's just going from A to B, and there's no in between.
Yeah, awesome. So like I was saying, the only time you might need to interrupt that is if the player erases the path. Like, does the NPCs know? Oh, I need to double check now to see that I can.
It doesn't. It only. I've done. I can do it that way. I just have to do it in here before the twin, basically.
Okay.
Because here is going from tile to tile, if you think about it.
Yeah.
So in the path size, it's every single tile. So it's going from tile to tile, and then it's twinning from tile to tile. So I could have that. I could have that in here, but I've decided against it, and just have it when it gets to the market. It's gonna see, okay, I cannot go inside, or when it comes out, I cannot go to the bridge because the path is broken. So it's a bit more forgiving, but it doesn't really disrupt anything.
Okay. Jeez, sorry. I'm still
At
dealing.
this point, I'm just trying to cut as much as I can, basically.
Yeah.
The way I'm thinking about this is a lot of this is just bluff, because at the end game, you don't really care about these things. When you get to the end game, right?
So when you say that, what do you mean?
Plus NPCs.
It's because you can't even tell what the hell's going on at that point. Yeah. It's just
all these checks. It's all these barriers I'm adding. It's like has to be perfect. It doesn't really have to be perfect. As long as I'm doing the checks of can it reach the market, can it reach the bridge, I think that's good enough.
Yeah, sorry, I've got a very persistent. The kids are playing outside, and my dog wants to go out there, but we can't have him out there right now. So I'm gonna lock him up real quick. Give me a second. He's so. They're such funny dogs, because it's just like when I lock him up, he's like, there's two latches, and if I don't do both, he's like, hey, you forgot one. No, he just like nudges it, and he's like, this one too. It's like, don't forget to lock me up real good. So
the performance and improvements, yes, big improvements.
So right now, when you're running the game, what's it look like for you? Like, when you do the profiling and everything.
Just for the NPCs, right?
I mean, just kind of just overall, just.
Let me see. I don't think it's going to work because I broke everything.
Oh, okay, no problem. It's pretty much whenever I try to show somebody anything I'm working on, I get rated, and it's like, I broke everything 30 minutes ago, so I can't.
I'm working on. Okay, let me fix it. Okay, wait, no. First, before I try to fix this, let me change the amount of NPCs coming in.
And then the other thing is, I just want to confirm you do have some sort of repo, right? Like okay, all right.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's fix this. Because now we have a bunch of NPCs. The connection part is what I was working on. Now you can see the NPCs coming in. I just need to fix for all of them.
Yeah, so it's still okay.
So now you're gonna see a bunch. Let me just fix everything. This was the next part, optimizing the connections. There you go. I think there's one more and that's it. Then we can take a look. There you go. Now there's one more. That's it. And then let's take a look.
And so you don't when you're doing the debugging, you don't turn off VSync. That's
Turned off.
oh, it's not acting.
I still have it set up to 60, max 60.
Well, yeah, but interesting. Yeah, because that should be in like the 300s or 400s or something like that. If you're
No, even if I disable the max 60s, it doesn't reach. It reaches like 70 or something.
in your project settings in Godot, can you turn it off there and see what happens?
I can, but then I think I'm gonna have to redo the whole thing again.
Oh, let's see. I don't know if it affects it at run. No, not max FPS. Oh, I see.
What?
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Never mind.
Yeah, because
Yeah. I see.
This thing was off. But I would have to disable max FPS.
Yeah, there's a few tricks to like when you're running in debug to just I would suggest when you're doing debug builds and everything to just uncap it so that you get an idea of what you're actually hitting. Again, just to be more performance aware so that you know when something you've done has impacted it in some way. Because the only time you're going to see drops below 60 is when your machine can't handle what's been changed, right? So the more you're aware of, wow, I dropped, like I'm always hitting 630 and I'm dropping to 500 all of a sudden, like what's going on? In the
main menu we have.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, like just to kind of see that while you're doing dev work. And then you can set it up in Godot where the actual export has the cap and all that stuff. It's just something else to measure, right? If you're capped at 60 and you only see 60, you're never going to know that something is different. So that's and also
I bet as soon as we get the NPCs running, it's gonna drop to 70.
Right.
That's my guess. Well, actually, it's not dropping yet. But also the process increases with the FPS increase. So isn't that a bad thing?
Yeah, it's just more about knowing that some change has changed your FPS. That something is reducing the speed at which you can render to the screen. And so without uncapping it, that's just a harder thing to tell or to catch until you're hitting the below, which means that for your machine it's bad, right? But if we're trying to my dog is going to drive me nuts today. If we're just trying to, I'm going to appease him. You know what it is? It's because I've got breakfast out and I haven't eaten it still. I haven't finished it. And he's just like, this isn't cool, dude. Like, it's getting cold. I should eat it.
24 objects, 24k objects, 10,000 nodes. Well, what do you want me to do about that, you know? That's the game.
Yeah, I mean, the way to reduce any of those is really just by
removing nodes.
Right. And so on your NPC, so what does your NPC look like right now? Like, what does the scene structure look like on the NPC?
It's literally halved the nodes because I got rid of the state machines.
Right.
So this is how it usually, so this is, I'll give you an example. It will be more or less like this.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's reduced to this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interactable. So what is the collision for?
The collision for is just for the, you know how you have gates? Because now you can place gates anywhere.
Okay.
And then you can place roads between the gates.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have like NPCs walking to the gate. So it needs to interact with the gate, basically.
So since the gate is just a value in the tile map cell stuff, you could make it so that you can you could get rid of the idea of needing physics for any of that by just having them navigate to that gate and then interacting. Well, instead of, so just the same way you set a path between the bridges and the door, it would be like, well, they're heading to this place, but between those 2 points is a gate. So when they get to the gate, that's where we're going to have them stop and then interact with the gate. And then you talk to the gate and you tell the gate to open or whatever the animation would be for that. And then you have them walk through it. And so you end up with the same thing. It's just that you don't need to have physics for every single.
So I would basically target the gate itself.
Right.
And then when it reaches it, I play the animation of the gate and then switch to go to the market.
Right. And and so then you because a game like this really doesn't need the physics process. So you can just get rid of that. It doesn't seem like it's affecting too much, as far as I can tell. Like, it's not too bad, but it's also just another set of. I mean, that's two more.
I also disable it if they are not on screen. I forgot about that because I have this visible on screen notifier. And I disable everything that's not on screen gets disabled, like animations, the interactable.
Right.
There's no point for me to see them interacting with the gate if I don't see them.
Right. Right. Yeah, there's like a dozen different ways to do it without, and that's two more things on the on there that you don't need anymore. And Navigation Agent 2D, is that a Godot thing?
That is how I get A to B, bridge to market. That is how I get all these points. So it's getting all these points from the bridge, the starting point, to the market. It's using the default Godot navigation.
But it looks like, so this is more for path avoidance, right?
No, you can use it for many things, not just path avoidance. But yes, you also have path avoidance. But I'm not using it for path avoidance.
2D agents. So how does this work in terms of... Are you telling it...
I'm telling it yes.
Well, okay, but is it something where you give... because you might only need one of these. Because is it to get... Basically, is it to get a path?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh shit, you make... Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, so you might... On the core... Yeah, on the core scene tree, just put in a navigation agent 2D. And this would, of course, require...
For everything.
Right. So you can do a big ass refactor for that too. But yeah, you might only need one of those. And so that would drop, villager times X minus 1. Now you're one more
times
thing.
Everything really, the workers and everything.
Okay. Yeah. So
okay, let me note this down. I'm gonna get my notepad. My favorite thing, chat hates.
Because I'm not familiar with it, but if what you're doing is saying, I want to know from this point to this point what the path is, then yeah, you only need one.
No, hold on. No, because I'm also using it to get... I'm also using, for example, can this path be reached?
Yeah, it's
or
that.
Have you reached this path?
Have you reached this path?
And stuff like that.
Link
All
reached.
these things, it's inside the agent node 2D.
Yeah, I never thought to need this because whenever I do end up doing pathfinding, I just go with the, I got to do something about my dog. Give me a second here, okay?
Okay.
He's hearing the kids playing outside, and he's just like, this isn't fair.
How do you ask for the path? How do I ask? Like this. So I get the target. We have a target position, which is a global position. You can't see anything. Are you on my stream? Why can't you see anything? Right. It's all pixelated. Really?
Come here, bud.
Why is it all pixelated? Oh, because I'm watching myself. I'm a dumbass. Okay, how about now? Now it should not be pixelated. But yeah, basically I give it a target, which is global position. And then I get the current navigation path. It gives me all the paths. And that's how I get... That is how I get everything. How often do you call this? Once. Once.
Sorry, give me a second.
If the villager needs to go from A to B, I call this once.
Excuse me. Okay. Because so you've set things up so that between you're getting like a singular path and you're going between them. So in this case, it's not between each tile point. It's now between like the beginning and the end destination. Is that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. And is that for the navigation 2D agent? Like before you were doing every single, what's the next point? What's the next point? What's the next point?
Yes. Before I was doing that every single frame.
Okay. And then,
We
so
don't
you're,
update.
the thing that you're tied into this is linked reach. Is that the one that you're like, or navigation finished? Is that
Is target reached?
target reached?
Is target reached? Yeah. And then there's a bunch of them. Oh, there's another one. I need to find it. We have it's is target reached, and then we have, I guess, just is target reach. I guess that's the only one I'm using.
And it doesn't.
And obviously the one that gets the paths, I get the full path from A to B.
Mm-hmm.
So this gives me all the cells basically from A to B. And it's just vector 2s.
I always did this by hand, where I would use the A star algorithm that Godot has, and then I would handle.
That's what it's using, A star.
Yeah. So I would use A star, and I never used any of this stuff. I just did it my.
Okay. So wait, there's a thing called A star that you can just access. Oh, there is.
But I'm still thinking about this and wondering if you can use a singular one, because you can bind what the signal came from. I just don't know if this needs to be the child of the thing that it's using to navigate with, or do you tell it?
Oh, it does, because it's using the target position, which is a global position. So if this is on the, I would have to set this. I would have to set the navigation target before I call this. Before I call is target reached.
What's weird about this is it's a node. No, it's a single. Yeah, it's like it inherits node, so it has nothing to do with like 2D or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Time horizon agents. Let me just read. I'm going to read about it really quick here. 2D agent used to pathfind to a position while avoiding static and dynamic obstacles.
Oh, another thing. It's from the node that it's attached to the target. So the navigation agent needs to be on the target itself.
I don't think you need this. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking around because I always end up just, oh, A star has everything I need. Give me a second here. Yeah, because you get a list of points.
Mm-hmm.
You say with A star, you say, and this is all happening. So hang on, so you're using tile map. This might be why you're going this route, because tile map's
Yes,
doing
navigation agent, navigation regions.
So tile map's doing some of this for you. So it might explain why. So is there a function in tile map that you can ask for? Is layer navigation enabled? Yeah, the question for me right now is can we use this as just one node? But I can't see from it what I'm still looking around trying to answer that question. Because if it had it being on the node isn't necessary. I can tell you that. just based off of its inheritance.
If you can move it, every time you have to check, you have to move it to the NPCs, for example, because it need to if it needs to check from its position of the NPC, and it needs to be on the NPC to do that.
But it doesn't though, because it's a node. It doesn't know anything about 2D space. So there must be a function call or a parameter that you give it that tells it where it's building the path from or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
It's building from the node, but I don't know if there's something else you can set it up to that node or something like that. It has to be on the node. It's calling.
It's part of the server process. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it has it on the char. Yeah, I guess what I'm wondering is, but to get a path, you can just have a nav server and start in positions, right? So that would remove the node. Yeah. Well, and you can get that from A star, because with A star you can ask it. Sorry, I know it doesn't. It's
like I can use the same navigation.
Right.
From my tile map, then I'm okay with it.
So A star has. The nav server uses A star. So yeah, you would ask your nav server, you would get A star from your nav server, and then you would say get point path. And all you do is you need to know the points. So there's another function called an A star where you say get the closest point between at this location to this location. In your case, since you're a tiled game, it would always be exactly at the right spot anyways. And then you'd use those IDs and call get point.
Can I not get the whole thing? From A to B?
Well, you just need to know what the points are, but you already know those too in that you've set them. So, because you know where the tiles are.
Yeah. But my current system, I need the whole thing.
You mean the whole path?
The whole path.
Yeah, so get point path gives you a packed vector 2 array. It's every single vector 2 that you would be tweening.
Yes, that's exactly, yeah. That's exactly what
yeah, so
yep.
you A star already gives you what you need, and you don't need the navigation agent. You would just need in your, so you have this array that you're tweening to, and you would know when you get to the end of it, right?
Yes.
And so that's everything that navigation 2D that you're using from it, as far as I can tell, on just like a rough first pass.
And how do I check if I reached?
So
if I reached or if I didn't
if
reach.
you have think about it this way. So you have an array of paths and you just have an await, and you go, I'm here, the next point in my array is here, so we're going to tween between those 2 points. All right, we've reached it. Cool. Now what's the next one in the array? Okay, we're going to do it again. And then you go, what's the next one? That's the next one. And as soon as there's none left, you've reached your destination. And so it would be in some sort of loop that you would be doing this in. And then basically at the end of the, you'd be popping these off of the stack. And then popping them off the array. And then when there's nothing left, you've reached your destination. So there's not even a signal. You just know in this for loop or whatever it would be, we're done. And actually, you don't even need the await, because you can stack the tweens, right? So you would just say, okay, tween to here, and then tween to here, and then tween to here, and then tween to here, tween to here, tween to here, and then it would just reach, and you could connect to because the tween will let you know when it's finished. So you could await for the tween to finish, and then when the tween finishes, you go, okay, we've reached our destination.
I think the issue I have now is if I remove a bunch of tiles and he's trying to get from A to B, but I remove a bunch in the middle.
You need to interrupt it, right? Like that's the problem of. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, even before that. So it needs to go there. It's stationary. It's waiting at A, and it wants to go to B. But before it's doing all this, I removed a bunch of stuff in the middle.
Right.
And now it's checking. It's doing the whole path thing. It's giving you the path vector 2 array.
Mm-hmm.
How does it know that it cannot go from this tile to the other tile?
Right. And that's a really good question. And
That is why this is a thing. Is target reachable?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. Well, I mean, there's a few ways to handle that. One is you just literally just recalculate on. So if something gets changed, you go, okay, we're going to recalculate everyone's paths, because this is essentially asking every single time that it's doing it, right? So it's a Boolean, and it is using the navigation server, so it's probably, I don't know what the hit would be, but this would reduce. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it. So I was describing building out the whole tween all in one go, right? But if you were waiting between tweens, and it's like you still have this array. So what you would do is you would do your A star get point path, and you'd have this packed vec2 array, right? And you're only going between each point. And so if somebody does erase something between when the person is navigating to that from one point to another, you could check those navigation points and go, is with what, I mean, basically you just recalculate, right? So you're just at a new position, and then you just go, okay, something's changed from where I am. How do I get to where I need to go? And
so am I checking between the points themselves? Like, because I'm checking.
So with
the grid, so I'm just checking between the points, right, to see is this higher than it's supposed to be, and if it's higher, that means I cannot go, right?
Right. So I think this would be cheaper than the way you were doing it. So because what you're doing is essentially it's constantly asking, is it still okay? Is it still okay? Is it still okay? I don't know how often it's hitting that question
No,
though.
I'm only doing this once.
Once when, and so how does, if that's the case, then wherever you're doing that, and you know right now in your code that it wouldn't break if you change a block and they just know to go to a different position, then really you don't need to change anything, except for whenever that call happens. This changes the dynamic from whenever you're saying, hey, can I still get there? Is that the question?
Yeah.
So it just changes to, you're right. Yeah. So it just changes to, I've changed a road tile. And so what's my new path? That would be the sort of the change of how your code would look.
There is no path, right?
Right. Well, how does that handle that right now?
It's doing, I'm using this is target reachable to check.
And then if it's not, what do you do?
I change it to a state where it cannot reach the market.
Okay. So hang on a second.
So think of it this way.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you'd be fine. Because when you get, so get point path has this flag for allow partial path. It returns a path to the point closest to where the target can be reached. So, okay, so let me ask you this. So the behavior currently, when it can't reach a target, what does the NPC do?
So I'm only doing this check on the beginning of his movement state.
Mm-hmm. Does he kind of like idle in a...
If you cannot reach it, it's going to switch to the idle state where it just sits there.
Okay.
And inside it, I'm checking to see, oh, it's now reachable. And then I'm switching back to the movement state.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, you can pretty much do all of that.
So I don't have anything in between. I'll remove that. I don't have anything in between. So if the NPC goes from A to B and the movement already started, we already passed that check.
Mm-hmm. So
now it's doing the tweening and everything. So
Yeah.
I'm not doing any of that. I basically let it
So-
reach, and that's it.
I'm pretty sure this isn't explicitly in the docs, but I'm pretty sure when you get point path from A star, if it can't find the path, it's just you don't get an array back. Unless so it's just an empty array. So
makes sense.
right. So it's like
I think that's why it makes sense why I have to constantly change the target position to be able to get the is target reachable. Because I kept running into this issue where the path was empty. The navigation path was empty. And I couldn't figure out why. Because I had the target.
right.
So I now understand. Okay.
So
you have to okay.
Jacob, so what we're doing right now is we're talking about he's got a node on every single he's got a lot of these NPC characters that are running around and doing things, and as in Godot land, the more we can get off of the scene tree for those objects for that scene for the NPCs, the more we free up, like drastically. Well, not drastically, but it's just like however many people times the NPCs times what objects are inside the scenes of those NPCs we can get rid of, then it's that times the number of NPCs. So it's a huge gain. And he's using navigation agent, but really the way that he's using it is basically identical to just using a single function from A star, which already exists for him. So so the way you would get this A star, I think, because you're using the tile map, I think you go with a navigation server and you ask it
to use the.
You ask for A star here. Could be wrong. It does not handle navigation from A star 2D or A star 2D grid. Okay, let's see.
Jacob,
tile map.
The problem is, because I think that's what people don't understand. The problem is when you're dealing with so many nodes, the less nodes you have, the less process, right? You have to deal with. Because even if it's an idle node, it's still processing, right? If it has a process in it. From what I understand.
A star grid 2D. Does that sound like something?
Oh, A star grid 2D.
Is this a download? This is a download. Give me a second. I'm sorry. I'm trying to track down. Here we go. I'm up in one A star for finding the shortest path between 2 points on a partial 2D grid. Is a variant of A star 2D that specializes for partial 2D grids. It's simpler because it doesn't require you to manually create points and connect together. Okay. A star 2D grid. I'm wondering if this can be set with okay. Well, this is definitely something to investigate, but I think there's a little bit more to getting this to be an option for you. Because there's a little bit of, I think you have to kind of bootstrap it. Like you have to do a little bit of work to get it so that you can ask A star directly for the locations. It's interesting though. Sorry, go ahead.
And how feasible is it to like ask A star multiple NPCs at the same time, for example?
Well, it's no different than what you're doing. It's just you're asking it directly instead of using the navigation agent node. So you're able to just get rid of that entirely. That's why like I said, I usually end up, once I have the A star built, I just ask it. I'm just constantly asking it. So that's where I'm confused about with tile maps, because it is building an A star. It is building these paths. I just don't know how to ask the tile map for it. Like, where is it? Like, I don't know where that is.
Literally just setting the navigation.
Right. But I don't.
It's all on the navigation agent, though.
Oh, you're using tile map. What is it called? Tile map. It's something else.
Navigation.
No, for your 2D tile maps.
Layer.
No, but the tile map isn't called tile map. It's like tile something else, right?
Tile set.
Tile map layer, is that it?
Yes, tile map layer. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So this might have
in
it.
you have navigation layers.
Okay.
Basically, just like you make collision tiles, same thing. You paint the navigation onto the tile.
Here we go. Get navigation map.
A grid, basically.
Okay. Navigation server 2D. Okay, I think I got it.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the most of the performance is going to come from the tile maps, the tile sets. Because I just disabled the draw calls for the tile map layers, and it's like double FPS.
Well, that's why we're having Nick. That's why we're having these conversations in the first place. We've made some change. Mr. D-Boy has made a couple of changes already when we talked on Tuesday about a lot of different things you could do to optimize. But this is just one thing to get rid of another node in the scene of the NPCs, because he's trying to be able to increase the number of NPCs he can get on the scene. So the fewer nodes that exist there, because your current object count is what for like the running game right now?
24,000.
Right. And what is the running, like, what are we looking at, like memory and so on? Let me see. Process. It's not, okay.
There you go. This, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, it's just a suggestion really that I was making was he doesn't need to have that node on every single one of them. If he can just ask, hey, what's the path I should take? And so we're just talking about if you went that route, like what did that look like with your existing code and everything? But if so it's just another trick to get those off of the NPC scene trees. And the other thing I was suggesting was that, you know, you probably could get rid of all the collision checks as well. And with that other suggestion, check for the. Yeah. So when you run the profiler right now for a little bit, what is it? If you let it run for like 30 seconds and then stop it, how's that looking? Sure. Yeah. We'll just let that go. So yeah, physics frame time. Yeah. So I do think getting those collision checks off of those characters is definitely another kind of freebie that you could do. Is it?
Well, this one is always going to be 16 by 16. 60.
Because it's every 60 seconds or every every 60 60th of a 60th of a second.
The one you're thinking about is the physics time.
Yeah, so that's really not anything to worry about just yet, and unless again you want to get rid of the nodes in the scene in the first place, which is like one of the goals. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and stop it. And then we should be able to, if we scroll down.
Scroll down.
Okay. It just tells us how often things are getting called, how much time they're taking. Okay. Yeah, so from the goal, let's go back to the NPC scene. So right now you've made all these changes. Is it only on the villagers or is it on all of them?
Just villagers.
Okay. So when you hit up the other ones, you're going to get even more back.
What do you mean?
Well, are there other types of NPCs?
The workers.
And what does their scene look like? Is it the same kind of?
No, it's like this.
Okay, so you still have the node state machine in there.
Yeah, I still have the states, but it's not working because I disabled it.
Okay. And there's no workers on the scene currently anyways, right? That we were looking
Currently,
at?
No.
Yeah, okay. So back to the villager one really quick, sorry. I don't care so much about the code. I'm not caring about that right now. So you have these GUI elements on them here. This
GUI elements.
The controls. You have no connection and gather item.
Yeah.
And so those, okay. Is there, and then there's a label. What's the label about? Just the numbers.
If you want to see how much he has, you can hover over the item and it shows you how many he bought.
Oh, okay. So you only need one of these. This whole thing can be, so this is meant for a hover over?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this whole thing could just be in your base scene tree. And then whenever you hover over, you move the control to where it needs to show on that particular NPC, and you set its values to whatever the NPC's values are. And then
also just move the label, you mean, right?
No, the whole thing. The entire
No, because each NPC, you can see it on the map. I want to be able to see him carrying.
I see. Okay.
So all of them, you can see them coming out of the market and carrying the.
So the two label things then that could be what I'm talking about.
That could go. Yeah.
Right. And so that can get rid of all that, and then you don't necessarily need it to be. I don't know that this has any difference on anything, but it doesn't necessarily need to be the control textures, because those could just be sprites, but that's fine. What you're doing there is fine.
So do you mean sprite 2D?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because go ahead.
The reason I'm doing this is because they can stack on top of each other, right? He could be carrying, and then he could also not able to go to where he needs to go. So then the no connection is going to show as well.
Yeah. So, but you could still achieve the same effect procedurally. So where you just know if you're showing one, then it needs to be its position needs to be bumped above the other. Again, just thinking about how can we get rid of as many elements in the NPC scene tree as possible, because again, it's NPC times whatever, right?
It would make
Um,
sense. So 1, 2, yeah,
yeah, so you could get you could get it down to 2 from what I'm
1, 2,
seeing.
3. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can get down
I think
to 2. Yeah.
just 2, and then the labels could be a floating. That would take a little bit of work, but that certainly could be reduced. And I mean, another way to really, you could reduce it. Now, this sounds crazy, but it actually, again, if we're finding that the number of nodes and reducing it is making that big of a difference on the performance of the game, right? It could be a single texture. It could be a single image with an atlas texture of the possible scenarios, and you just, if it's this and this, then I'm showing this part of a texture or whatever, and then you literally have just a single image that you use instead.
I don't think you can. What if it's in different spots? I don't think you can choose a different spot and a different spot. They have to be close by.
What's they when you're
in the atlas texture when you're selecting what you want to see?
This would be so. It looks like, so. What's the top? The exclamation point. What is it? What is that? Just
It's an atlas texture.
Well, but the as far as what I mean is, what is it indicating? So you're just looking up that exclamation point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's indicating. It can indicate many things. Cannot reach the market. It cannot reach the bridge. Cannot do this. Cannot do that.
Okay.
You just have to hover over it.
And so you're using the controls for the dynamic. Can you show me, like, you've got the V box and all that. So if one's showing, it kind of shoves the other one down. Can you show me what that looks like when it, like, there's maybe different scenarios for it, like. Oh, so it's just below it.
Yeah.
And gather item, I'm guessing can be different. Like, it can be a different item.
It can be a different item, correct?
Okay. So what I was describing is a scenario where you just have a single texture, and it's a lookup of all of the possible scenarios of you're gathering this item and there's an exclamation point, and you're gathering this thing and it's a and it's not an exclamation point, and so you have that, and now you have a single image, and you're just looking that up.
So I would make a specific sprite sheet for this where I have every single combination.
I mean, if you already have this one here, you could just add to it, I suppose. I don't know how this is split up, but
that's what you're saying, right? Just have next to this one, have a row of all the crops, basically.
Yeah. Again, this is all just from the viewpoint of how do we manufacture a way to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then this also reduces draw calls, right? Because now
it's only drawing one time.
Right, because it's a single image, and so now that helps reduce that as well.
Makes sense.
So that's another thing there that we could do. Animated sprite, so it's under that. Visible on-screen notifier. Okay, I understand why that's there. Now, I mean, I'm curious about. Let me just check that out.
See, user friendly.
And so you're using this to just turn visibility on and off, right? When it's off the.
So this lets me know if this NPC is off screen or on screen.
Right. So what are you
and
using?
And then I just do stuff.
What's the do stuff part?
So I have a boolean. Basically.
So if it's visible or not, yeah.
Yeah.
It is visible.
Then I use this one to say, okay.
But what do you do when it is visible?
Part, so when it gets to the animation part, it doesn't play. Well, it's mainly to check for if it's not visible. Right, then I can, for example, I have this idle animation. I can stop it from showing because it's not visible.
Is there any
So
reason
then I
why
don't have to run.
is there any reason why you're not using the built-in visible flag in Godot?
Well, because but that's always on.
Well, but you can turn it off.
But I would
And
have to.
and then just check that value instead of having another value called is visible. So
Okay.
and then that now you're guaranteeing that it's not trying to draw any of that as well when it's off screen. You get what I'm
But
saying?
no. Wait a second, because you cannot hide the whole thing.
What do you mean?
So if you hide the whole NPC,
Mm-hmm.
then you're hiding the visible on screen. Then the visible on screen is unable to see later on if the NPC is visible or not.
Mm-hmm.
Then it
So
always stays invisible.
so what I would do then is turn off the animated sprites visibility. So instead of because most of what it looks like you're doing is whether or not it's visible, you're because it's the sprite that's the thing that's drawing, right? So if you make that sprite, yeah, go ahead.
That doesn't get drawn anyways when it's off screen.
Okay, so
No,
I don't know. I don't
the
know.
draw call is only in your viewport.
But it's probably, and this is a guess, it's something worth trying, is I think that it's probably checking if it needs to or not. But if it's not visible, then the engine, again, this is totally a guess, but I think this is accurate. Then the engine's just like, I'm not even going to check that because it's not visible. So I'm not going to check if I have to draw that.
Okay, that makes sense.
I could be wrong about that, but I think that's, and if you do that, what I'm saying though is if you just use one of the built-in visibility flags, since you've got this sprite, you could just say,
I would still use the visible on screen notifier, right?
yeah, but instead you would change the animated sprite 2D, a reference to the animated sprite 2D dot visible equals false dot visible equals true, and then in any of your checks you replace is visible with that.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's worth a shot. I don't know 100% that is going to make a huge difference or not. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do believe that like if you flag something to not be visible in Godot, it does like it's already called out of the draw routine where it's not going to
draw routine.
Yeah, it's like I'm not even going to bother figuring it out
to see if do I need to or do I not?
Yeah, and is it on screen or is it off screen? It's just not a part of that world.
Because I replaced that with this, with visible on screen notifier.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Let's go back to the animation stuff. I don't think you need visible on screen notifier. I'm sorry. Go back to where you're doing the check.
Where?
Where you're doing the check for is visible. Okay. I think there's a flag where we can just ask, are we visible or not?
Okay.
I think we can ask the sprite the
visibility changed.
Maybe?
Oh, you mean ask the sprite? Okay.
Right. I think there's a way to say, am I Godot is
visibility changed, maybe?
Well, that's a signal.
That's a signal. Is visible in tree? That's a function.
Is visible. I mean, sprite 2D.
Returns true if the node is present in the scene tree.
No, we don't need
this
that.
is different. It's saying check draw. Signal draw. With the canvas item must redraw after the related notification draw. And
what's in here?
before draw is called.
Visible. Canvas item will be drawn. Draw depends on the visibility of all canvas item ancestors. That's not it. I think it's camera. I think you ask. God, I feel like I'm crazy.
Yes, the camera.
I think so.
That makes sense.
I think there's something
In the camera.
maybe.
Okay, let's have a look.
Is object visible or something like that? Get is current, make current. No. Swear to gosh. Nick, wasn't there a function to ask, am I visible? Like, am I on a camera right now? I could have sworn there was something like that. There was just like a Boolean you could get. Sorry, I know this can be like, if you want to stop at any time, just let me know.
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
It's fun.
Cool. All right.
We haven't got to the roasting part yet, so that's okay.
I'm not going to do that. I can let he who is without coding sin cast the first stone. That's how I feel about. There's. Let me see. Godot. Check if object is visible from camera. Screen entered, screen exited. Sorry, we're looking around. Thank you, M, for the raid.
Cool? Yeah, cool. You think it's cool?
Shoot, you know what? I got raided earlier and I didn't. We were in the middle of talking and I didn't say thank you. We're going over some
8-bits, right?
8-bit. I'm so sorry if you're still here. I feel like a jackass.
Oh, he's long gone.
I got to DM him. I feel really bad. M, thank you so much for the raid. I'm talking with Mr. D-Boy about his game. It's Mr. Farm Boy, right? Let me do an exclamation point. Okay, exclamation point.
All things performance.
Do I not have a... Can you throw a link to your thing in the... Oh, it's underscored.
Oh, I can.
Hang on, I got it.
Underscore, yeah.
We got it. Why isn't it not... Must not have it for you. Yeah, just throw it in there.
RIP.
It's on Steam right now.
If I do this, are they able to see it? I don't think so. Were you able to see the link in the chat or no? I'm wondering.
Yeah. It's there.
From Emmett?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got shared chat on, so our chats are crossing streams.
I know there's a setting where you can make it so bots don't share.
It does, Todd, but it's just it's just another object on the scene tree. And I could have sworn there was a way of just asking. I thought it was the camera. What I think I'm thinking of is at the 3D camera, you can cast a ray towards something and say, "Hey, is this on the screen or not?" But obviously, we don't want to add more things to it because a ray cast is going to look for a collision.
Yep.
So we don't want to do that. But we're just trying to think of ways of like how can we reduce on his NPC stuff whether or not we're showing something or not.
How can we reduce everything all at once?
And so in this case, he's just checking if it's not on the camera, we don't need to run any animation stuff.
Yeah.
And check against the viewport. That's what I was just rolling in my head. So I think that's a way to do it without having that in the scene tree. So you check against you check the global position of your guy and you check against the viewport rect and what that would be showing. And then you just go, oh, it's not even in there. So I'm not going to run the animations.
How do you check? Isn't that like you have to do like a loop or something?
Well, global position, no loop. Global position, you would just ask of the NPC, right? And then you just look at the cameras. Let me see here.
But when do I ask it?
When are you checking in the first place? So you're checking. Let me see. So for the animation stuff, right? Can you go back to that part of the code?
Okay.
So it basically,
When I'm walking or
no, yeah, okay. So you have these here. Set idle animation. So right there.
oh, so when I'm playing the animations?
Yeah, you just do, instead of that is visible, you're gonna look at the object's global space. So its global position, and compare it to the camera and its canvas size, or the viewport part of it. And if it's not contained within that area, then you know it's not on the viewport and you don't have to do the animations. Let me ask you this. So the way that you're doing it now, because I can think of some bugs that'll happen from this.
Like, how do I turn it back on, for example? Oh yeah, I'm gonna check here again, I guess. Yeah,
So
that doesn't matter.
because you right now you're just flagging it one way or the other. What causes?
Right now, I'm only setting this once.
So what triggers set idle animation? Oh, I
For
see.
example, if it needs to stop, so it stops and then you just place this, but it only causes once.
Mm-hmm. So is there a bug? I don't know that you would know right now. Is there? Because I'm imagining there might be a bug currently where if it's off screen and an idle is set, then when you scroll back, it's not going to show the idle. And I guess you wouldn't even catch that.
Well, I'm not hiding them. I'm only stopping the animations from playing.
Mm-hmm. But you're only doing that. Sorry.
Because from what I understand, the way it works is the draw call, if it's not on screen, it doesn't draw it. But now that you told me that, there's probably a check in there somewhere.
I think this would this would still work because the logic's the same. The Boolean is something you're creating in your if statement, so that essentially you're saying, hey, where am I? And hey, am I is that point inside of the viewport? And if it is, then if it's not, then you do your early return. But yeah, no, actually, Nymphis. So we're trying to get rid of the physics objects on the NPC. So that's another thing we were talking about removing as well. So I think at this point, I think that would work, and I can offline. I can help you with what that code would look like. It wouldn't be a loop or anything like that. You're literally just checking for the two values, and if the one is contained in the other, then you're cool.
I would basically check, because I need to check all four sides, right?
So yeah, so there's a function call in a viewport called get visible rect. And on rect, it gives you back a rect2. And on a rect2, you can ask, is this thing inside this rect2 space? Would this vector2 be inside this rect2 space?
Right.
And it's just,
that's simple. Okay.
I believe so. Yeah, there might be some additional offsetting that you need to do. I don't think so. Let me do a shout out to M. I forgot to do that when M came in. Thank you so much for the raid, M. M Audio, doing all kinds of cool audio stuff, doing a lot of stuff in Fmod right now. Voice work, music, etc. If you need music for this game, Mr. D-Boy, talk to him. What were you saying?
I was saying we would check for the position, because the position is on the on the canvas layer, right?
Yeah, it's global position, wherever it is on the whole world scene.
Well, no, because global position is not on screen.
Yeah,
Global
but it's still
is on the map.
Yeah, and that's why you would need to use that, because you need to know, is it out here or is it in here, right? So that global position compared to where the viewport is in its global space,
Okay. That makes sense.
Is it inside that area or not?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's a really quick check, and you don't, now you can, so I think at this point, it's possible to get rid of what we've looked at so far is the collision stuff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Both of those, yeah.
7. If we get rid of the navigation.
Except the interactable. So you're not using the collision shape as the player. How are you doing the hover over on the animated sprite? So you had the mouse over information. How are you knowing when you need to show that?
Through a signal.
A signal connect. So mouse entered connected onto what? Because that's usually an area.
No, it's you connect it straight to the
the texture. Oh, okay. I didn't even know you could do that. So that's why it has to be a one of those. I can think of it for the for a control. Okay. Yeah, so the visible on-screen notifier we definitely can get rid of. I think that's the lowest hanging fruit. That's like a freebie, basically. I think the idea of disabling, you might want to try disabling the visibility of the sprite. Well, no, we don't even need to worry about that anymore. Don't worry about that. The hardest one, I believe, in this whole thing will be the navigation agent stuff. And the floating label thing might be a little weird to kind of wrap your head around initially. But I think in order of difficulty, or easiest to hardest, visibility, getting rid of visibility, getting rid of the interactive component, then the label stuff, and then the navigation agent stuff would be one of the hardest ones for you to tackle. And now you're down to basically just the sprite, and then the texture for the state of the NPC.
We could probably even get rid of the Node 2D and just use the sprite.
And if you want to get super crazy, if you know that in general, only half of the NPCs are going to be at a current state of carrying something, because theoretically they're not carrying something, or they're carrying something, and half the time they might not be carrying something. So like you only need roughly half. You can do a lot of crazy stuff with caching if you really want to squeeze out like how many objects you have sitting in Godot. But I think that would get you down.
Are you saying like swapping the NPCs?
No, you would just have a bunch of cached. No, but you're using the texture as whether or not it's don't worry about it.
Okay.
No, you still could do it. But yeah, you would cache the texture rect into an array of like the maximum amount you would ever need at a given moment, because not every NPC is going to be showing anything from a texture rect at any given moment, and it's a pool of them, and then you grab from the pool when you need it and you put it over that particular NPC at that given moment that needs it. And so now you have now it's not even a part of the it's not a part of the NPC unless it needs to be. And then when you're done with it, when the state has changed and it doesn't need to show anything, you take it off of the NPC and you put it back in the pool. But that's like a lot of work. But like if you're gonna get to like 20,000 NPCs or something, that's when you probably start thinking. I don't think, you never know. You never know.
I think for something like that you need to use nav mesh, not nav mesh. What you call it? Mesh something where you have to blend everything, the way you make grass and stuff.
Oh my god, there's something right in front of our face that we can get rid of. There's another node we can get rid of. It's right in front of us. If you make the animated sprite the parent of this whole thing.
That's what I said.
Oh, did you say that?
Rid of the parent. Yeah, I said.
I didn't hear you say that. I totally didn't hear you say that. I missed that.
Why not just use the sprite?
Yeah. So yeah, set the sprite as the parent. That's such a fudging obvious thing. I didn't hear you say it. Yeah. So yeah, do that. That's a freebie right there. That's a whole nother 2D, no 2D.
But I wonder Yeah, I guess it would work. Yeah.
Yeah, you just drag the navigation agent as a child of it, and same with the interactable. You could do it right now. I mean, the one thing you would need to do is reattach the script. Oh, but you have some. Is that little square with a dot in it? Is that like signal connections or something?
The little square.
So on Villager NPC, it's got like the script icon, but then it also has this other thing that I never see. Up at the very top, the parent node. One more up. It's that to the right. That little square. What is that?
Oh, this is the.
Oh, it's the group. Okay. So that it might require a little bit of. Basically, you would need to change the class name at the top of your script to animated sprite, and then you would need to re-add it to the group. That's the easiest thing in front of you, right there.
I'm wondering why did I do this way? It has something to do probably with the animation sprite unable to have maybe areas under it. I'm not sure.
No, it should be able to do any of those things because animated sprite inherits Node 2D. So anything that a Node 2D can do, the animated sprite will be able to handle as well. I'm sorry, I totally missed you saying that. I must have cut out or something. Did you just say it too?
Yeah. I was like, okay, wait, we got all this. Then I said, okay, why not just use the animated sprite instead of the 2D?
Damn. So that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then technically you do need the viewbox container for that way you're doing it dynamically. But if you got rid of that and you use that lookup thing that I was suggesting, yeah, that's 8 times however many villagers you have. All of those objects and nodes are gone. So that's a lot.
That is a lot.
Okay.
Because really, all we are doing is moving images around.
Mm-hmm. That's
HP.
Yeah. Ultimately, that's all it's doing. And eventually, if you really start to like, you can do some really crazy stuff with. Technically, this can all be done on the GPU. You could think of these as particles, but you don't like.
Wait a second. Can I switch this to the GPU?
It's possible. Yeah, the guy you'd want to talk to about that is IRAD. I believe he's done stuff like that before, so it's possible to. Wouldn't
that be better?
Yeah, but I don't know what the Vulkan renderer is doing for you when it comes to some of this stuff.
Because right now the GPU is doing nothing.
Right.
All the work is on the CPU.
CPU, right?
Because of the draw calls.
Mm-hmm. So you
Look
can.
At the difference.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do believe there's a way to, and there's some guides out there, YouTube videos and stuff you could look at. It might not be too difficult for your needs. I think there might be some issues with like Y ordering or Y sorting.
Okay.
So that might be why you might not want it. I could be wrong. I believe that it's possible to do that though. But it becomes weird because you're sort of disassociating. So you have, but I don't think you should worry about that right now because it does batch the draw. It does batch the draw, so I don't think it's really anything to worry about right now. And then of course the tile map thing. So we talked about that where you have this was the other thing that I'll share it on the screen real quick for everybody in case they didn't see it earlier. But the other thing we were talking about doing was here we go, share my screen. To not refactor the entire way he's doing things in tile maps right now, Mariano had mentioned that batching does exist for tile maps, but only if you have a single tile set source, a single texture. So his current system, D-Boy's current system is a tile map with a bunch of different textures, and so it's not batching the draw. So my suggestion was to use that tile map as basically a data structure, and then we build an atlas texture from all of the tile sets that he's using, and we create a lookup so that anytime anything is being set here, we have a mirrored tile map basically that uses a single tile set that's looked up its coordinate space to figure out what part of it needs to use to draw that texture, and therefore the whole thing ends up being batched. So yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. If it works the way he said, I think I'm just gonna use a single big ass sprite sheet and try to do that.
I would suggest not to, though, because again, on potatoes that wouldn't be the best for performance. This would be the best for potato performance.
Wouldn't that be the same thing?
No, because and you had pointed this out. You said, "Isn't this going to be a big texture?" And it would be.
No. What I'm saying is using a single, instead of doing this, what you just showed, where I use two different ones. I will just make the single tile set.
This right here? Or
yeah, instead of doing that, I'm just gonna do what he said. I'm gonna check to see if it works the way he said, and then if it works the way he said, I'm just going to have everything in the same spot.
Oh, you're gonna do the actual work to get it that way?
The actual work to have everything in a single tile map there.
Yeah. This was my suggestion so that you didn't have to change your workflow. But if you want to do the work to port it all over into a single one, going forward, that would be good for you as well.
Yeah, I'll check to see if it works that way first.
Yeah, and for caching reasons, just pick a size that is, like 1024.
Compact, isn't it?
Well, but it should be the texture size you want to do is 1024 by 1024 or 248 by 248. Something that's a factor that of 2, because
factor of 2. Okay.
Yeah, because it's my understanding that is good for GPUs in that it'll be cached in it'll help with caching on the GPU side.
Makes sense.
And so, because I think like the idea of like texture packing and everything, it sort of does that in its memory too, I believe, something like that. I'm not 100% sure how it actually works, but so try and keep it in that. So yeah, I think this is good, dude. I don't know. I mean, I could have gone through your code and I don't know that I would see any huge, I'm going to stop sharing there. Without like fine tooth combing everything, and looking at it. I mean, the only thing is like, can I check? Do you have any process step on the NPC right now?
No.
Okay. So everything's on
the villagers? No.
Okay.
You can see how it worked before if you want. But I don't know if that's going to help with anything.
No, it's in the past.
Yeah.
There's no point in looking at it. I'm glad these things have already helped a ton, it sounds like. The draw calls are...
Now it's just a matter of polishing up the states and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And the draw calls are really going to help with,
draw calls would be insane if it actually works, because if I turn off, and obviously it's not going to be the same, but if you turn off everything, like the FPS is like double.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing that right now? I'm not seeing it on the...
Yeah.
That's weird. It's not showing up for me.
I'm sharing the screen.
Huh. It's like frozen. Let me...
No, is it frozen?
There we go. I'm just not seeing it on the monitor. Oh, I see. Okay.
No, the NPCs are frozen, but
Mhm.
right here it's
Yeah.
double the FPS basically.
So that's the tile maps for sure that's causing that. Yeah.
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 And
So
obviously, if you turn down the NPCs, it's even more. Now look how much we have. It doubled again from 200 to 300.
you got another 100 back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And
from
then
what I understand is like every like you get to 100 FPS, and then if you get to 200, it's not actually double. It's like 20% more technically, or something like that. I don't know what the math is, but doesn't mean if you have double the FPS means double FPS.
right.
It just means faster, but not double. It's like 20% or something.
Right. So the other thing that you could eventually do for this, since I don't know why I'm frozen right now, but I am. Another thing you could do for this, is to avoid having everything. You would make a queue. Let me check my camera. I'm frozen. So a queue of like, oh, I guess my camera's just decided to die on us. Okay, well, no camera for cricket. I'm frozen. But another thing you could do is right now, when things are changing for your characters and stuff, it's all coming in at disparate times. So the possibility of in a process step still exists. Not process step in the Godot world, but in the fact that on the game loop, it's possible that you have many of your guys asking to change their state or update something at the exact same time. And if enough of those do it all at the exact same time, you're going to get that same kind of problem that you have where the process, that moment in time, that process takes longer than to generate the frame. Right. And so then for a smooth 60, right? So what you can do is you create a queue of asking to do something, and then you just run through that queue in order, but not at the same time. But it would be so fast and so unnoticeable, it would appear as though it's all happening at once. But in the world of the game, it's not having everyone ask all at once kind of thing. And so it's just
going to happen every frame, or is it going to happen multiple times in the same frame?
So you could set it on ticks if you wanted to. So it doesn't even need to happen every. So this would be this is the irony of it. And I would probably put this inside the processing of the queue. I would put inside your main game code, and it would be on the process step. Or if it's not on the process step, you just set a timer. If you're going to do it on ticks that aren't every.
Because before all this, I was trying something called batched update for the NPCs.
I wouldn't. So batch to me implies many at once.
This implies like 20 on this frame, and then 20 on the third frame, and then it can also do one per frame because it has like.
Yeah.
It depends how many you want to do.
So this would change the dynamic of, instead of the NPC saying, okay, I'm done with this, I'm doing, and it's just finished and I'm doing this now. Instead it would be like the NPC finishes its thing and it goes and notifies, it goes into a queue and says, I finished this, like, tell me when I can go again, basically. And then you just process the queue where you're like, okay, you can go. And that way, for certain that they're not all going to ask for, like, that you're not going to get somehow, if let's say you have 1,000 of them and all of a sudden their timing is such that 100 of them all ask at the same time, or not ask, but then all of a sudden need to process some new change.
And how would I let the NPC know it's their turn?
Well, so you essentially just have an array where you just add a reference to the array would just be, and you would probably be able to. What's that?
It would be a reference to the NPC or a reference
Yeah,
to something else.
yeah. So you could do it a bunch of different ways. You could have it just be an index. If you knew the order that they're in the scene tree in, you could use just an integer, and then that's just an index reference to the children of a particular, node tree or whatever. Or it could be an array that's a reference to the object of the NPC.
Isn't it a big expensive to constantly add and remove from the array?
You don't. So what you do is you pre-size the array to a maximum that it ever could possibly reach. And that you would get through testing. So you would say like the array will never need to be bigger than 100. So you set it at 100, right? And you just have...
this array holds a reference to 100 NPCs.
What's that?
And now this array holds a reference.
Yeah, and some of them are going to be null, and some of them aren't, or whatever. And so you're just going to iterate on the array and look and go, okay, who's remaining or whatever. Now you can shuffle them around or change their indice. Like you go and you say like, okay, this guy's done. I'm going to put another one's asking for it, and it's a circular buffer. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name of it, but basically there's a way to make sure that you stay within the bounds of it. That's what it was. Yeah. Anyways, and you're not constantly, but I think that even if you were needing, and no need, pop front and pop back is both instant. No need to rearrange the array. Right. So yeah, if you just have like a permanent size on the array and you're just pulling the data from that, then there's no need to resize it, and you just can constantly.
I think pop front and pop back. You're removing.
I think
you're removing the.
Yeah, I think it resizes the array. Let me double check. So what you would need is you need like an index system where you have another value that you're using to indicate. Let me see.
Which turn it is, right? Like.
Right. Removes and returns, right? Pins an element to the end of the array. Push front. Is there a push pop? Let's see. Anyways. Circular buffer, you need a head and a tail if they are equal and the buffer's full. Okay. But yeah, there's certainly a way to do that. But again, that's probably not necessary for you. Well, it might be if you really want that smooth 60 to do something like that, because you're still with your game, you're going to see these weird little drops from 60 occasionally. And I think that the reason why you would see that in this kind of game is because sometimes all at once you're getting you're getting so many that want to update their current like state or their next action or whatever it is all at the same time. And when that happens, if you can spread the load out, and you could even combine it with, like you're saying, like a batch or whatever. But I would actually not. I don't think that's necessary. But it's another idea of just another way to try to spread, because you can spread. It's like about doing less, and if you can just spread the load out across many like different times between frame draw, then you can keep that 60 going even better, instead of like occasionally this big lump sum of like, oh crap, everyone needs to know right now what they're doing next or something like that. I don't know if that's making sense or not, but
makes sense.
Yeah. But I think that because of the style of game, this is the last little thing I'll say about all this, is like because you're making the game that you're making and it's programmed the way that you've programmed it, when you're making these changes, you just want to test and make sure that they're actually doing something. And sometimes when you're doing performance stuff, you don't...
Oh, he's gone.
Oh shit.
You're gone. And he's gone at the most important.
Hello. Am I back?
Hello, welcome back.
I don't know, dude. I don't know what's going
you're
on. I don't know. It
cut
hates
off
my
at
guts.
the most important speech, and that's it. You were saying?
Yeah. A dictionary. You could just use a dictionary actually, and that would probably be the best way to do it. The thing that I was talking about in the no. Anyways, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I'm getting sidetracked from what I was saying. Okay, so what I was saying is you have your game. You're making your game. You have your game's code. Okay, this is all like okay. It's like, have you ever looked at your hand? It's like these are all like I'm just stating facts right now. But the point I'm trying to make is so. Sometimes you don't know what your gains are going to be when you try to do something to improve the performance. And I would encourage you not to just test on your hardware, but you've got that potato machine. You should at least be testing on something with integrated graphics because the experience is completely different, right? So I think that's very important when you're developing games on Steam to be sympathetic to people within that, and to. Every time you have a game that runs good, and your game, I think, has a real possibility of like being something big. And if the more people that can play it, that's only going to mean more sales for you. And if somebody plays it and they have a bad experience because of performance, that will be reflected in the review of the game and its score. Yeah. And so thinking about this is not bad, and trying things out is also not bad. And sometimes it's not going to be worth your time, and sometimes it is. Sometimes the low-hanging fruit is really obvious. Like right now, building that Atlas texture is probably the most obvious thing. It's drudgery. It's going to suck at first to because there's I imagine there's a lot of code you're going to have to change.
Yes. Especially with placing things and removing things and stuff like
the net benefit of that beyond the single draw call, if you can truly get that, is that your code is going to be way cleaner just from having a single Atlas. I imagine it'll end up being like
correct.
Yeah.
There'll be less if statements as well.
Yeah, so just overall the and that really probably only matters on setting a cell or something like that. But the actual code will be far easier to parse, I imagine. So yeah, Nymphis is saying early returns. And then I had also mentioned on if statements to think of them as Boolean checks, and the cheaper ones putting them in the front of the if statement, because as soon as the comparison statement is false, it's gonna not do the rest of the comparisons, right? So if I compare,
what's your opinion on if statements? Are you okay with having a bunch of if statements?
I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I don't really. I favor matches over if when I can.
Okay.
Because those are usually hashed, is my understanding. I don't know what Godot does with it though.
Are they faster?
I believe they are, but people have argued with me that before in the past about that. But I think if you're just checking one single value, like why the hell wouldn't you use a match? Like that's just my
that makes
yeah, like so.
Well, it wouldn't be less code. It would just be same code, but you're only calling one thing instead of multiple ifs.
Right. Yeah. And then I believe it's hashed so that it can quickly identify, it knows exactly where it needs to go. Once it's right now, computers are really good at repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And so if especially if it's something that's being checked often, a match is the way to go, because it gets like a quick lookup for the answer, because it already knows, like it's an enum. Okay, I know exactly where that enum, the lookup for that enum is in this match statement. It's right here. I don't have to. So, but
like this one is one of my most complicated scripts ever.
Mm-hmm. So this is an example where Nymphis is saying, you should do an early return on the ifs. So in this case, well, except that if you did that, you can't do that here for the way this is set up. So you would do
Probably buy price would be first, because it's just an int.
So you have returns here. Scroll up. So when is this firing? Is this on the player action?
Yes.
Okay.
Like it's checking when you're placing down a tile.
See, I suspect these aren't even worth thinking too much about from a performance standpoint.
This is like a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's not one time. It's every time you're doing it. But
so, in my opinion, this becomes a taste of clean code. Like, how do you prefer to do? Like, it's a flavor thing. Like, some people prefer to write this stuff a certain way. If you can read this and you understand it, it's my opinion that it's fine. The times that some of this stuff matters is, again, if it's being looped on repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again and stuff like that, then yeah, you're going to want to. Let's see. I've also seen someone make improvements because some of the main problem was with the code. It reused other code. Needed to do one thing and it was inside a reused block of code that 100 things did it. So making its own small code with only what it needed to be brought down in the function from thousands of lines to like 10 lines of code. Yeah. It's all going fast is about doing less. So we talked about that too. So I guess I'm just kind of, it's like, I'm more of my philosophy on this. I do think that it's worthwhile to be performance aware. I think the more you think about it and you realize the impact of certain choices you're making in the future, you won't make the debt that you're creating for yourself going forward.
Yeah. Second game, obviously.
Right. Yeah. So you'll just start to think about these things differently and you'll just avoid doing things a certain way and you'll just naturally get more inclined to do things in a way that has less and less performance ramifications. And again, it all depends on the game you're making, because a lot of these things that we're talking about are specific to your game and it goes from there. So
like, have you ever played Brotato?
No.
But you know Brotato, right?
No.
You don't know? It's like one of the best Godot selling games on Steam. It like has like almost 10 million copies sold.
I don't know it.
Brotato.
Brotato.
Let me show it to you. Brotato. This one. You don't know this? It's like a vampire survival game.
Yeah. I'm like an old man right now, right? Saying I don't know.
You should know, because this is Godot, isn't it? You should know all the games. What's the other one?
You like Godot? Tell me all the Godot games.
Hell something.
Yeah, it's a shooter hell. What do they call it?
Something with hells.
Bullet hell. Yeah.
No.
It's not a bullet hell? It's a bullet hell.
No.
Yeah, that's what it's called, a bullet hell.
Something Hell's Torment. Hold on.
Oh, I thought you meant the genre of the game. Local co-op.
Torment. Halls of Torment, another one. Godot game as well.
Cool.
Same thing, it sold like 2 million copies.
Yeah.
What's another one? Dome Keeper. Have you heard of Dome Keeper?
I think so, yeah. That sounds familiar. Another Godot one.
Yeah.
I know there's like a, what is it, backpack something? There's like a backpack.
Oh, that is very popular.
Yeah.
Back.
That's one of those things, and I get the same feel for your game, dude, where you see the game and you're like, oh shit, that's going to do good. That's the feeling I get with your stuff.
This one blew up because of a streamer. I think it was Soda Popping. But yeah.
Yeah, backpack battles. It's like an idler, right? You like it's a custom build idler thing.
No. It's fully.
Well, they have like a combat loop where you can walk away and come back. Like your guys fight other people.
You set up everything, and they automatically fight, right?
Yeah. So like when you're
You
away
set
and
up
you
your
come
backpack.
back. Yeah, I think so.
Offline battling, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. And it's so easy because again, it's just like, here's the data
Yeah,
for
look at the
the.
things on the screen. There's nothing.
Yeah, I know.
This must be running like crazy.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm not gonna like go through your code one by one or anything like that, because in a way I am sort of talking about the there's always that quote that like premature optimization is the root of all evil, but I've always interpreted that as about like, I take it to mean, oh, I'm going to make my code exactly what it needs to be, like as perfect as it possibly can be, not necessarily from a performance standpoint. That to me is when that's like, I would rather waste my time, quote unquote, waste my time trying to find what's going on with the performance and everything like that, than trying to find like, oh, my code should look like this. And maybe that's the wrong way of doing things, but I do find that I end up finding these really weird gains when I'm thinking that way versus when I'm thinking more about like, what's the perfect code. And
the other thing is like time. Time is a problem.
just like how much time you have available.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to spend too much time on working on the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually you're trying to just make money, but I do think that for games that blow up, I think in general, in the indie space, at least the ones that get really big tend to trend towards higher performance. And so I think there's like,
okay. All right. Back to Brotato, because why I brought up, that one has huge FPS issues towards the end, because towards the end there's so many enemies coming at you at once. You have like 300, 400 enemies trying to kill you.
Yeah.
And it has huge FPS drops.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they have a similar issue.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they could be doing all kinds of things that you don't need to be doing. Like, I see the point system is popping up and it stays on where it is. So that tells me that it's possible they're instantiating the score every time and then queue freeing it. And that could easily be a cached system. So it's possible that's, eating up, freeing and grabbing more memory and stuff like that.
To me, I think is going back to the draw calls, like how many things are on the screen moving at the same time, how many nodes moving at the same time. I think all those things kind of break your FPS.
So this is the last thing so do you cache the NPCs? That would be the last suggestion I would make ultimately for you, long term.
What do you mean cache the NPCs?
When they come on the screen, are you like instancing them, and then when they leave, or do they leave?
They never leave.
They never leave. Okay, so in a way, they are a cache.
They are preloaded in the preloader manager.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
And then I pull it from there, and then I instantiate it, and then they are always in the scene tree.
Yeah.
They're just hidden or shown and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any, like, off the top of my head, without like going through your code and being like, oh, I had to do it this way or whatever. I think because the main part of your game is about the number of NPCs, getting those to do less and getting rid of scene elements on them is your way to go. And then if Mariano's right, and I have no reason not to believe him.
I hope it's right, because that would be great.
Yeah, then that's the thing that I think Imagine spending your most of your time on right now.
My only worry is like it's just doing a line. So the way I saw it, the way this sand was rendering in the draw call, it was a whole draw call, but it was only a line, and then it would be the next line, the next line, the next line. the next line, going to the right side,
Mm-hmm.
starting top and then going to the right. But it would be a line. It wouldn't be the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It would only be a section, basically.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that had something to do, obviously, with because the water wasn't connected, so it was trying to render,
Mm.
and then below it, it will render the water. We'll just have to test and see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm excited. I'm glad that the suggestions I made already on Tuesday at least have helped. And I think there's no worry about talking like this and having people in the chat contribute is always really helpful too. Just to see like different opinions on it and get like just having Mariano say that is like our own personal chat GTP of
Yeah, I'm surprised how tame the chat is, because usually in my chat is horror show.
I think you have this. Maybe I should talk about this offline, but I think we both have. I think we both have pretty. Sometimes certain streamers, man. I have a pretty. I have the same relationship with my chat where it's a little antagonistic, and so it hardens you in a way that I think some streamers don't have to deal with it. But I love everybody in my chat. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I just think that I think part of it is I think part of it is not having like an older brother in my life. I think I'm just not used to getting ragged on so much. I don't have a thick skin for it or something. I was younger of two sisters, so it's just so different. I didn't have the right kind of sibling relationship to be hardened to it. But yeah, it's yeah, just let me know. I'm really curious. Like keep me I'll drop in your chat too, and I'll just be like, hey, have you done it yet? Did you get the batching going? And see where things are. So, and the game's available for purchase right now, right?
Yeah.
For early access?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's coming along, like wish lists and everything? It's coming along?
The wish lists are growing. It's like 14K.
Nice, dude. Holy shit. Not too bad at all, dude. This is gonna do so good. Remember me when you're famous.
Hey, it's still not sock house money, okay? I don't know if you met. Have you seen Click and Conquer?
No.
Click and Conquer.
Careful.
It's one of our friends of the channel. Sock house.
Okay.
He did this game in like 300 hours.
And he's like a millionaire now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, look at those positive. Oh my god, you do the math on a. What is it like? The shorthand is like times 10 or something for number of reviews to sales or something. There's like a shortcut to figure out.
I don't know, but it's the way he did it was like 40% off when it launched, and it just blew up.
Yeah.
And then he's doing like bundles with a bunch of people.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, that's well, good for him. Good for them. I'm so happy.
That's why I've been trying to tell you is like, okay, you want to make money, make a game in 300 hours, below $5, put it on Steam, done.
I think that's yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, I gotta bail, but I hope this is going. I hope this isn't. I'm not setting you on the wrong path with some of this stuff.
I don't think you will.
Okay.
If anything, I would just learn things, and that's it.
Yeah, that man, Robin. How's it going? All right. Well, I've
already learned a lot. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna bail, and if you run into any like problems with this going forward, or like if you do want to try to do the A star thing, just let me know, if you're like, I don't understand this or something, and you need just like to be pointed in the right direction, I can help you with that. And yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and raid out. So I'm gonna hang up and yeah, you have a good day.
Thing. Wait, let's raid the same person.
Oh, okay.
Who are we raiding?
I don't know. Do you have any? Let's see. How many viewers do I have? I think we have the same technically. 23 I show on mine.
Oh, Pirate Software is on.
Let's do it. Ironically, raid.
Let's do it.
Everyone's playing Silk Song. I'm like going through. It's Red Cabin, but he's doing Unity.
Boo, Unity.
Cumulative. I mean, there's Jackie. I never raid Jackie codes, but we could do Jackie codes. Just Covino.
Jackie codes.
Okay. All right. I feel like this is a good enough group. I always have this weird arbitrary rule about the view count and whether or not I'm rating based on.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Based
I've
on
rated bigger streamers.
Yeah.
It's all good. They always appreciate everything. They always appreciate the raids.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm always trying to like float up bigger folks.
Raid Amaranth? Sure, let's do it.
All right. Well, you have a good rest of your day, all right?
You too, buddy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a good one. And everyone, thanks for watching. I'm going to hit the button. Bye.
Same. Bye. Let's go.